Hi, good afternoon students. Welcome you all to the YouTube live session for the discussion of AIRTS minor test 3. So to start with, before the discussion, let's see what it is. So this test series has started on 28th of November for the class of 12th and 12th plus who are repeaters. And all the subjects are covered. There will be 4 minor and partial syllabus tests with 2 mega and half syllabus tests along with 6 full syllabus tests. The marks would be similar to as there in NEET of 200 questions, 720 maximum marks you can score, and it is a completely NEET pattern based paper. The duration would be 3 hours 20 minutes and English, so it is almost like a mimic paper as you will see in your NEET examination. Alright. Now, let's see what we are going to have in this test series. So, we already had the papers, minor test 1, this is already done, minor test 2 is already done. So, on 26th of December, we had this paper, minor test 3, for which we will take up this discussion. And then another minor test would remain. After that, we had 2 mega tests, and then there would be complete test papers or full test papers, right? Now let's discuss in zoology the very first question in section A. You all know compulsory questions are there in section A, and then you have optional questions in section B. So all the questions are compulsory in this section, right? So start with the very first question, which says that in the year 1953, S.L. Miller, he created an experiment setup where he subjected a gaseous mixture to a temperature of. So gaseous mixture was methane, hydrogen, water, vapor, ammonia, but the temperature is 800 degrees Celsius. So it's a direct question and the answer is option C. Other options 100 degree, 400 and 1000 are absolutely incorrect. It's a remember based question, so direct question. Let's discuss the next question. Water vapor fell as rain to fill the crates on earth, forming seas and oceans. So when it happened, this happened before formation of ozone, before formation of hydrogen, after formation of oxygen, after formation of ozone. So it happened after formation of ozone and not before formation of ozone. It happened after formation of hydrogen and before formation of oxygen. So the answer is option D. The next question is question number 3, that says, which of the following process succeeds parturition? We all know parturition is childbirth. Options are gametogenesis, which is formation of gametes. So obviously childbirth happens after gametogenesis. Lactation is that happens after childbirth, which is the process of feeding the newborn. So this would precede and succeed parturition. So answer would be B. Fertilization is incorrect, which is the fusion of gametes. And then you have implantation that happened after fertilization. Implantation of blastocyst happens in the uterus, followed by embryogenesis, finally followed by childbirth and lactation. So this is the series. So the answer is option number B. Okay. Let's start with the next question. Which of the following represents the correct dimensions of each testis? So this is again a remember based question, it's a direct question. So the dimensions of testis includes 4 to 5 centimeter long and 2 to 3 centimeter wide. And for this I haven't given you a clue. Just remember 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the numbers, right? And as this testis appears like this, so you know the dimension. It would be the length and it would be the width. So width would be 2, 3 and length would be 4, 5. Right? Other options are incorrect. So the answer is option number D. Let's see the next question. The next question says, question number 5, in females, it is a cushion of fatty tissue covered by skin and hair. And the cushion fatty tissue in female external genitalia is mons pubis. So the answer is again direct. Labia majora and labia minora are below to it, and clitoris is a sensational structure which is present in the external genitalia of females that have homologous structure, regarded as homologous structure to glans penis. Let's discuss the next question, question number 6, that says what is the full form of RCH. So RCH program stands for Again, a direct question, an easy question. RCH stands for Reproductive and Child Health Care Programs. So the answer is directly D. Reaching children in hospital, restore child health, reproductive, inactive child health is absolutely incorrect. These are incorrect options. The answer is option D. Let's discuss the next question that says, question number 7. Statutory ban on amniocentesis for sex determination is due to. So as the name says, for sex determination, so it is due to that by determining the sex of the baby, which especially comes to when it is a female child, that led to female feticide. So this led to female feticide, which is a disadvantage to which over which government have made these amendments and statutory ban. So it is not because of male feticide but because of female feticide. This would be the answer, and not because of infant mortality and infant natality. Let's discuss the next question. The next question says, which of the following was not among the conditions on earth during chemical evolution that mimicked the earlier environment or earlier conditions required for the formation or for the initiation of life on earth? So it includes lightning, it includes volcanic storms, low temperature is not an answer, it includes high temperature. Reducing atmosphere was there, oxidizing atmosphere comes after oxygen came into earth. So the answer would be option number C. I hope this is clear to you. Let's start with the next question, which is question number 9, that says, which of the following can be used as pollution indicators? And we have seen this in an example of industrial melanism that shows an example of natural selection, that pollutant indicator or pollution indicator in that case was lichen. So the answer is lichen, because lichen was there post industrialization. It become completely eradicated from the trunks of the tree, leading to that predators actually picked the black moths over it, right? Because pre-industrialization, lichens have covered the tree trunks, because of which it becomes white, almost white, and white moths then camouflaged with the background and predators pick the melanic forms. Post-industrialization, as lichens were not there, so the black moths, melanic moths get camouflaged with the background, and the predator, which is birds, they picked the white moths among them. So lichens are the pollutant indicators, not algae, dark winged moth and white winged moth. So the answer is option D. The next question is question 10, that says, lack of menstruation, does it indicate endometrial shedding? So it is indicative of endometrial shedding. Lack of menstruation may be indicative of pregnancy, is not indicative of pregnancy, indicates sustained melanin levels. So we all know lack of menstruation may be indicative of pregnancy, because sometimes due to stress or due to some medication or due to other factors, we may lack menstruation. Maybe because of lactation amenorrhea. When a female is highly lactating, they lack menstruation. So it is not indicative of menstrual shedding, because menstrual shedding happens when there is menstruation. It may be indicative of pregnancy is the correct answer. It is not indicative of pregnancy is not right. It is indicative, but maybe. And it indicates sustained level of melanin levels. It has nothing to do with the levels of melanin, right? This hormone is not even in relation or association with this menstruation. So the correct answer is option number B. The next question in this section is question number 11, that says, the outer layer of cells into which the inner cell mass differentiates is called. Options are ectoderm, endoderm, mesoderm, periderm. So this inner cell mass differentiates into ectoderm is the correct answer. The rest of the options are incorrect, because the outer layer is your ectoderm, inner layer is your endoderm, and mesoderm lies between ectoderm and endoderm. So the answer is option number A. The next question is question number 12, that says, which of the following is a hormone releasing intrauterine device or IUD? So you have your LNG20, progestasert, that are your hormone releasing IUDs. Lipase loop is a non-medicated IUD, so this is incorrect. Copper T and copper cell are copper releasing IUDs. whereas LNG-20 is a hormone releasing IUD, so it is a correct answer. The next question is question number 13, which says MTPs are considered relatively safe up to dash weeks of pregnancy. So your medical termination of pregnancy also known as induced abortion. This is safe up to 12 weeks, and that too when you take the advice of one medical practitioner. If that go beyond it, it can succeed up to 24 when you take the advice of two medical practitioners. So the answer is option number C. It is not 25, 28 and 30. They are way beyond 24 weeks. The maximum we can reach up to 24 weeks when there is advice and suggestions from two medical practitioners. And this is a NEET NCERT update also. It is highly possible to come in NEET. Please pay attention to this question. The answer is option number C. Let's move on to the next question, which is question number 14. In what is popularly known as the test tube baby program? So your test tube baby program, according to what NCERT also says, is that follows in vitro fertilization with embryo transfer. So you fertilize the gametes in vitro in a petri dish, in a test tube, and then you go for embryo transfer to the live or in vivo. So the answer is in vitro fertilization followed by embryo transfer is the correct answer. Embryo transfer is not followed by in vitro. This is incorrect. This is vice versa. In vivo fertilization never happens in test tube baby program, and it never follows. So this is incorrect because of in vivo fertilization. It is always in vitro fertilization. So answer is option number A. The next question in this section is question number 15, that says, which of the following hormones is triggered for release from maternal pituitary following a fetal ejection reflex? So first of all, the very first thing given is it should be released from maternal pituitary, and second thing is following fetal ejection reflex, right, which are actually involved in your childbirth or parturition, right. First option ADH, it has nothing to do with childbirth. Second is estrogen, then progesterone and oxytocin. And we know from maternal pituitary there will be a release of oxytocin and not estrogen and progesterone. So the answer is option number D, and it is this oxytocin which is involved in fetal ejection reflex. So with this, let's move on to the next question. The question 16, the process of lactation is stimulated by which of the following hormones? It is stimulated by, right, the process of lactation. Answer is, the question have given you the options GnRH, estrogen, prolactin, progesterone. GnRH is gonadotropin releasing hormone. It has nothing to do with this lactation process. Estrogen and progesterone, they are important for the release of or the synthesis of milk. This progesterone is important for the synthesis of milk and not to stimulate the process of lactation. For this, you require prolactin. So the answer is option number C. It is prolactin that stimulates the process of lactation. Oxytocin is the milk ejection that will eject the milk out of your mammary gland. That is your oxytocin. Let's move on to the next question, which is question number 17, that states which part of the embryo contains stem cells that give rise to all organs and tissues. This is the point, all organs and tissues, and we know the answer would be inner cell mass. Inner cell mass is responsible for giving rise to all organs and tissues, not the trophoblast, trophoectoderm and chorionic villi. So the answer is option number B. The next question is question number 18, that says that Charles Darwin observed adaptive radiation in which of the following animals? So Charles Darwin have worked upon Darwin's finches, and that Darwin finches is, this was a small black colored bird. It's a small black colored bird, right? He worked on this. That bird actually went to the Galapagos Island and diversified there, showed adaptive radiation. So it is a small black bird is the answer. It's not a spotted cuscus, anteater or sugar gliders. These are the examples that we will see in Australian and placental mammals that exhibited convergent evolution. So the answer is option number 1. Next question is question number 19 that says melanized moth were found to be more abundant. So we have just seen that one is your pre-industrialization and one is your post-industrialization. Pre-industrialization, when there is no smoke or dust, when there is no pollution, then lichens covered the tea trunk, because of which it was like white, and so your melanic moths, they were picked up by birds, whereas your white moth, they camouflaged with the background. So they are more abundant. While post-industrialization, it is your black ones that get camouflaged, while white one gets predated by your birds, as there is no lichen, there is smoke and dust that have covered the trunk region, and black moth actually camouflaged with it. So the question is that melanized form were found to be more abundant. So they were more abundant post-industrialization. Attributing to less predators before industrial revolution? No, the predator was there pre and post-industrialization at both the times. After industrial revolution is the correct answer, that happened post-industrialization. In presence of lichens on tree, no, that is the case pre-industrialization. Due to genetic drift is absolutely incorrect. This has nothing to do with this option. Let's move on to the next question, question number 20, that says which among the following structures represents homology? Very first structure is forelimb of man and frog. This is incorrect. This should be between mammals, forelimb of man, cheetah, whale, etc. Thorns of bougainvillea and tendrils of cucurbita is the correct answer. That shows homology and divergent evolution, because this exhibits divergent evolution. Eye of octopus and men is an example of analogous structure. Hind limbs of man and flippers of penguin is absolutely incorrect. So the answer is option number B. The next question is question number 21 that says homologous structures exhibit dash evolution. So this we have just covered, that it exhibits divergent evolution, whereas analogous structures, they exhibit convergent evolution. So the answer is option number C, divergent. Convergent is exhibited by analogous structures. Paleontological evolution and cosmonic evolution is not correct. Next question is question 22 that says pelvic inflammatory diseases, stillbirths, ectopic pregnancies are the consequent complications of. Are the complications of an evolution when evolution doesn't happen? Ovulation doesn't happen, doesn't lead to stillbirth and ectopic pregnancy. That is incorrect. Immunological disorders, reproductive failure and sexually transmitted infections. The answer is option B. It is directly given in your NCERT. That's a direct line, so an easy question. The next question is question number 23 that says which of the following is examples of venereal diseases or STI? Let's see the first option that says pneumonia, tuberculosis, gonorrhea. So your pneumonia and tuberculosis is not an STI. Gonorrhea is, but these are not, so this is incorrect. Syphilis, chlamydia, trichomoniasis is the correct answer. All are venereal diseases or sexually transmitted infections. HIV, genital ford, influenza is not an STI. Cholera, parotitis, genital herpes, they are not STI. So the correct answer is option number B. The next question is question number 24 that says nearly dash to dash million MTPs are performed every year, which accounts for dash of the total conceived pregnancies every year. Direct line from your NCERT, and the answer is that nearly 45 to 50 million MTPs are performed every year, which is 1/5 of the total conceived pregnancies every year. So the answer is option number D, not 1/4, 1/3 and 1/2. Answer is direct D option. Question number 25 says IUT, which is intrauterine transfer. It's an art which is advisable for embryo with dash blastomeres. So first option is less than 2, less than 4. They are incorrect because if we are transferring the embryo up into the uterus, it has to be more than 16 blastomeres. At least morula stage should be there, and then it reaches into blastocyst stage. It is blastocyst stage that gets implanted into the uterus. So if we have less than 2, less than 4 and less than 8, they are to be transferred into the fallopian tube. That will come under ZIFT, zygote intrafallopian tube, whereas more than 16 blastomere would be your IUT, and this would be the correct answer. The next question is question 26 that says pills have to be taken daily for a period of 21 days, starting preferably within the first 5 days of the menstrual cycle. Direct line from your NCERT that shows how to take the oral pills, and the answer is option number D, 21 and 5. Others are incorrect options. Let's see the other question, which is question number 27 that says administration of progestogens and progestogen-estrogen combinations or IUDs have been found to be ineffective. There is a twist. They are ineffective as emergency contraceptives when taken after. So we know they are effective if taken within 72 hours. So they would be ineffective if they are taken after 72 hours. So the option 24, 48 and 4 are incorrect because at this time duration it is safe to take this and they will act as emergency contraceptives, but 72 hours, after 72, when taken after 72 hours, they are ineffective. So the answer is option B. Next question is question 28 that says which of the following post-parturition that happen after childbirth secretions has abundant antibodies for protection of the newborn, and we know that would be the release of colostrum in the highly lactating mother. So that would be your colostrum. So answer is option A. Umbilical fluid, placental remnant, amniotic fluid are incorrect options. Your colostrum A has abundant antibody, which is IgA. This is another question that comes in your NEET. So another possible question that could be framed from this topic. The next question is question 29 that says identify the correct statement among the following. You have to find the correct statement. The very first statement is, the very first statement says the fetal ejection reflex is triggered by the release of oxytocin from posterior pituitary. This reflex is triggered by release of oxytocin from maternal posterior pituitary, and this is incorrect because opposite happens, right? B is neuroendocrine mechanism triggers fetal ejection reflex via hormone including cortisol, and this is a correct statement. The hormones involved in fetal ejection reflex includes cortisol, oxytocin, estrogen, right? And they are the hormones that are involved in this neuroendocrine mechanism that triggers your fetal ejection reflex. So that's why this first statement is incorrect, right? The fetal ejection reflex is triggered by signals from fully developed fetus alone is incorrect. It is from fully developed fetus and placenta. The last statement is the placenta alone sends the first signal and trigger the fetal ejection reflex is also correct because it is both fully developed fetus and placenta that gives this signal. So answer is option B. The next question is question 30 that says which of the following can be considered as Haeckel's embryological support for evolution. And according to him, the embryos of all vertebrates including humans develop a row of gill slits just behind the head, and this is correct because these are pharyngeal gill slits that are found just behind the head. Next option is that embryos of all vertebrates including human develops a row of gill slits in the tail region. No, because they are pharyngeal gill slits, not tail gill slits. They are including humans develop a row of perforations in the abdominal region is incorrect. And then the last option, it says in the perforation in the thoracic region is incorrect. So it is all about where these perforations are present. So these are gill slits, the perforations which are just behind the head and not above or below thoracic, abdominal, tail region. So the answer is option A. The next question is, according to Darwinian theory, which of the following populations is best suited for survive in the long run? The very first option is a beetle population giving rise to 50 progeny. We know in Darwin, which actually focused on reproductive fitness. So he focused on reproductive fitness and said that whosoever will produce more would be more fitted to survive for the next population. So more the number of progeny, that would be more fitted. So let's see, it's 50 progeny in the first option. Second is a red colored beetle population in North American grassland with abundant blue flowers. So the abundance is for blue flowers, but we are stating for red colored beetle, so this is not correct. This is absolutely incorrect. Then a black colored beetle population in sand dunes desert is incorrect because that would be more chances of getting predated. So they will not produce more and more, they are not survive in that habitat and would be eliminated. And last is a beetle population giving rise to 27 progeny. It's down to 50 and 27. We know 50 is more, so whosoever is producing more progeny would be selected as per Darwinian theory. So the answer is option A. That's a very good question, a conceptual question, a difficult question, no doubt. Please pay attention to the basics. The next question is 32. The first cellular form of life did not possibly originate till about itne years ago directly from your NCERT, and the answer is 2000 million years ago. Next question is 33. The first non-cellular forms of life could have originated about 3 billion years back. Which among the following is a true statement for them? So these first non-cellular forms of life, the protobionts, the eobionts, they are able, they have these giant molecules, they are able to reproduce, and they are capsular also. So let's see which option falls on this category. The first would say they would have been small molecules like amino acids, simple sugar and glycerol. This is incorrect because the condition required to have this non-cellular forms of life is that they would have been giant molecules like polysaccharides, proteins and RNA. This is correct. They were non-capsular, no, and they did not reproduce their molecular because they can reproduce. They are non-capsular but can reproduce, so this is incorrect. They were capsular, no, and did not reproduce their molecules, perhaps, is also incorrect. So the answer is option number B. Next question 34 says the electrodes in the spark discharge flask produce a spark under a temperature of 800 degrees Celsius. This is what we have talked in the first question. S.L. Miller, he created 800 degrees Celsius because of this electric discharge. In the presence of a mixture of gases except, and the mixture of gases involves methane, hydrogen, water vapor and ammonia. So methane, ammonia and hydrogen would be there. Oxygen is incorrect. So the answer is option C. Next question 35 says, in Miller's experimental setup, the condenser was placed. And if you see for where condenser was, it's the flask in which the electrodes were seated and gases were there, below which you had your condenser that will condense it, and then there is a heater here and the gas goes like this. So there would be your condenser, so that the gases and the substances which are formed after this reaction mixture could get condensed and collected downwards. So condenser would be below your flask. So it is just below the spark discharge flask, yes. Just above the spark discharge, no. Just above the boiler, no. And just below the boiler, no. Boiler would be here. That will boil. So answer is A. Next question is question 36 in the section B, which is an optional section, right? The section has this very first question which says, which of the following statement is false? You have to find an incorrect statement. First statement says Stegosaurus, Brachiosaurus both had huge fearsome dagger-like teeth, which is incorrect. So this is your answer because it is Tyrannex or T-Rex. Tyrannosaurus, which has huge fearsome dagger-like teeth, whereas Stegosaurus and Brachiosaurus, they are herbivores. Next is there were more abundant white-winged moths before Industrial Revolution, which is correct. Mammals inhabited the earth after amphibians is also incorrect. Louis Pasteur, they are correct. Louis Pasteur disproved the theory of spontaneous generation. This is also correct. So these statements are correct, so they cannot be the correct answer. Answer is option A. The next question, question number 37 says, if p square plus 2pq plus q square is more than 1, that is your Hardy-Weinberg genetic equilibrium is disturbed. So, your Hardy-Weinberg genetic equilibrium which is what? P square plus q square plus 2pq equals to 1. It is disturbed because according to it, whatever population stays in this equation is not evolving. So if it is higher and lower, that means that population is undergoing any changes in it. So it says that population is supposed to be stabilized. No, it is evolved. In genetic equilibrium, no, because it is not satisfying this equation and is not extinct too. Question 38 says, which of the following gives the correct sequence of structures found in intratesticular duct system? Multiple times this kind of questions has been asked from the chapter human reproduction. So pay attention to the lineage, the sequence of duct system in your human reproductive system. First is seminiferous vas efferentia, retitestis, epididymis, vas difference incorrect because seminiferous and then retitestis. Seminiferous retitestis, epididymis, vas efferentia and vas difference. This is incorrect because epididymis comes afterwards. Seminiferous retitestis, vas efferentia, epididymis, vas difference is the correct answer, and this is missing. It will come here. So first of all, vasa difference comes, then epididymis and one vas difference. Seminiferous vas difference, it is wrong here only. So the answer is option C. Next question 39 says, within the testis, small blood vessels and interstitial cells are found in. So within testis, if you have interstitial cells, that is, it is present in the interstitial space that is present between seminiferous tubules. So you have your seminiferous tubules, and in between them you have here your interstitial cells which are responsible for producing the hormone LH, and these seminiferous tubules have sertolized cells and your germinal epithelium or germ cells, right? So this is how your structures. So they are found in seminiferous tubules, no. Cortical region, no. Epididymis, no. But between seminiferous tubules is the correct answer. Question number 40. Label the parts A, B, C, D with appropriate options. This diagram is given in your NCERT, for which your A is this, that is your epididymis. Then you have your B, which is your urethra. Then you have C, which is your bulbourethral gland or your accessory gland in male reproductive system. And then this is D, which is your vasa efferentia. So whosoever satisfies these options would be your correct answer. First option A is urethra, absolutely incorrect. Your urethra is B. So whosoever satisfies B is your this option and this option. Let's see. So your option C is also incorrect. In B, A is your epididymis. And yes, this is correct. C is your bulbourethral and D is your vasa efferentia. So this would be the correct answer. In D, A is vasa efferentia. This is not correct. So answer would be option number B. The next question is question 41, that says, which of the following is not a part of human male accessory gland system? So your accessory gland system in male reproductive system involves your seminal gland, seminal vesicles, bulbourethral glands, your prostate gland. So these cannot be the correct option. Answer is phallic gland, which is present in cockroach, and that too in male cockroach. So answer is option D. Next question 42 says, each fallopian tube is about dash centimeter long and extends from dash to dash. Direct line from your NCERT again. Your fallopian tube is 10 to 12 centimeter long that extends from ovarian periphery to uterus. And you know how it is. If this is your uterus, this is your fallopian tube, here lies your ovary which is suspended with this ligament. So this ovary is your ovarian periphery and it lies with your uterus. So answer is option number B, 10 to 12 centimeter ovarian periphery in uterus. Other dimensions are absolutely incorrect. You can even solve it if you know the dimensions of fallopian tube. The next question 43 says part of the fallopian tube closer to the ovary is, and we have just seen that fallopian tube is like this is your uterus, so this is your isthmus, ampulla, infundibulum, here you have fimbri, that is holding your ovary, there is ostia. So what is closer to ovary is your funnel shaped infundibulum. So answer would be funnel shaped infundibulum. Narrow tubular infundibulum is correct because the infundibulum is a funnel shaped structure. Funnel shaped isthmus is incorrect. Narrow tubular isthmus is incorrect. Isthmus is far away from ovary. So answer is option D. The next question 44 says Darwin's finches based on adaptive radiation evolved from. We have seen this, it's a small black colored bird. Now the extension of this question is that is evolved from fruit eating birds to insectivorous and vegetarian birds, and this is correct because that small black colored bird is a fruit eating bird that went to Galapagos Island and according to the environmental conditions have adapted there and then become insectivorous, vegetarian, frugivorous, then maybe grain eater, etc. Next is, it is not insectivorous, it is not a vegetarian but a fruit eater, and then grain eating, no. So it is option number A that satisfies the question. The next question 45 asks for select the correct option with respect to marsupial radiation. So marsupial radiation that happened in Australia led to the evolution of sugar glider, Tasmanian wolf, marsupial moon and lemur. This is incorrect. Lemur is a placental mammal. Marsupial rat, tiger cat, flying phalanger, bobcat. Yes, bobcat, flying phalanger, tiger cat, but this is bobcat. This is incorrect. Then bandicoot, koala, sugar glide and wombat all are your marsupial. Australian marsupial, so this is the correct answer. Kangaroo, marsupial rat, numbat is not marsupial radiation, it's marsupial, Australian marsupial, it's a placental mammal, so this option is also incorrect. So the correct answer is option C, that involves all the Australian marsupials, that shows marsupial radiation. Next question 46, it's a difficult question. Let's go slowly on this. Read the following statements and select the appropriate option among the following. And the very first option is, the statement says that according to Hardy-Weinberg principle, the sum total of allelic frequencies in a species undergoes gradual change from generation to generation, which is incorrect. There is no change that happens in Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. So this is incorrect because no, there is no gradual change that happens. It remains constant. Second, Hugo de Vries' experiments on Evering primrose, yes, led to the formulation of theory of single-step large mutation as a cause of evolution, and so it is known as mutation theory, and it's a correct statement. Third statement says that Lamarck observed certain animals with long necks that foraged on tree leaves and put forth the theory of use and disuse of organs. That was later rejected once and for all, is also a correct statement. He worked on giraffe and he said that the long neck is according to their internal basic instinct. They want to do it. It's their desire to have a long neck, and it is based on the use and disuse of organs that actually inherited to the next generation, which is discarded excuse me, which is discarded afterwards. So this is a correct statement. Second is a correct statement. Let's discuss the last statement that says disruptive selection causes the selection of curve in a population to acquire one peak markedly which is deviated from the mean value, and this is an incorrect statement because if it requires one peak, that's a directional selection and not disruptive selection. Let's see the options. Whosoever satisfies this, 1 and 4 are incorrect, 2 and 3 are correct is the correct answer, which is your option B. 1, 4 are incorrect, 2, 3 are correct. So your answer is option B. Let's read the next question, 47, that says, which of the following events during human reproduction is followed immediately by the formation of second polar body? So, second polar body forms when your sperm actually enters into the ooplasm, into the cytoplasm of the egg. So, it is after the entry or on the entry of sperm into the oocyte. So, there happens entry of sperm into secondary oocyte and not during formation or implantation or fertilization. Answer is C. The next question, 48, says, which of the following structures constitutes the first cellular barrier that sperm encounters first before fertilization? So, question hint says for the cellular barrier. Your option 1, zona pellucida, is not a cellular barrier. Vitelline membrane of secondary oocyte is incorrect. Perivitelline space is not cellular. It is corona radiata, which is cellular and form the first barrier when sperm try to encounter for the fertilization. Question 49 is easy. It says that you have to complete the analogy, whatever Neisseria is to gonorrhea. So your gonorrhea, Neisseria gonorrhea is a causative agent for your sexually transmitted disease gonorrhea. Similarly, HSV, human simplex virus, is a causative agent for which STI? Options are genital herpes, syphilis, genital warts and chlamydia. And HSV is responsible for causing genital herpes STI. Syphilis is caused by Treponema pallidum, genital wart is by HPV papilloma virus, chlamydiasis by chlamydia. So answer is option A. The last question of this section and of this subject zoology includes that spotted cuscus is an example of which of the following? So spotted cuscus is an Australian marsupial. Now exhibited marsupial radiation. So it's an example of Australian marsupials. Yes, it's not an example of placental mammal, artificial selection or convergent evolution. Individually, it doesn't exhibit convergent evolution. When we compare spotted cuscus with the counterpart of placental mammal, then we say it's an example of convergent evolution. Individually, it's an example of adaptive radiation. So with this, I would like to end the discussion of this test, especially the subject zoology. Let's see the question of other subjects as well and continue watching. Thank you.
Hello everyone, welcome to the session. So now we are going to discuss the chemistry portion of this paper. Before we study, as you all know, we are going to discuss that the complete test series that we basically have for the AIRTS, right? So over here we have started a test series on 28th of November, which is this over here. Alright, so on 28th of November, we started a test series for 12th and 12th plus students with the complete syllabus of NEET, Physics, Chemistry, Botany, Zoology. And the pattern is totally NEET based with both Section A as well as Section B. Section B consists of 15 questions, out of which you have to attempt only 10. So 5 are just for your options part. Apart from that, 720 marks. And in this particular test series, what we have, we basically are having 4 minor or partial syllabus tests, 2 mega tests or half syllabus tests, and 6 full syllabus tests will be there in the future. Alright, then the medium is again English and time is same for the NEET, 3 hours and 20 minutes. We have started this test series on 28th of November. Right, and these are the dates for the future tests. So now this was our third test that happened or held yesterday here, and we are discussing this minor test 3. Next test will be on 9th of January. So I hope you all are going to attempt this because this is a minor test 4, and after that we will be having a mega test. Mega test is basically a half syllabus test sort of. Alright, so let's start with the discussion part here. So starting with the very first question over here, question number 1. Now, if I'll talk about that, if we have sodium ions, if Na plus ions were to occupy all the tetrahedral voids in rock salt, all the tetrahedral voids in rock salt, what are the positions of tetrahedral voids? 2 on each body diagonal, right? Rock salt is NaCl structure. The coordination number of Cl negative would be what? Right now, if I'll just consider the actual structure of NaCl, there the coordination number of Cl negative is 6, right? Because these are present in the corners, and we have to check out that it is in contact with how many Na plus ions. Now over here, if I want to check that if tetrahedral voids are occupied by Na plus ions, now each corner is basically, if I'll just totally draw the structure of a unit cell. Now we are basically having the atoms present on the corners, right? Now this corner is actually in contact with 8 unit cells. This is a part of 8 unit cells, and again this will be a part, or this will be in contact with 1 tetrahedral void from each unit cell. So the coordination number by default will become 8 here. So my answer over here is going to be option C, because this corner is actually a part of 8 unit cells, and in every unit cell this is actually bonded or attached to 1 tetrahedral void. Okay, so the coordination number is 8 now. Next question, number 2. In an ionic solid, oxide ions form CCP lattice. CCP lattice means FCC, so the value of Z is 4 here. 1/4 of the tetrahedral voids are occupied. What do I mean by 1/4? You all know one thing, that if the value of Z is 4, then the total number of tetrahedral voids is going to be 8. Octahedral voids in that particular crystal structure is going to be 4 now. Now, if I'm talking about 1/4 of the tetrahedral voids, that is 1/4 of 8. So this is going to be 2, right? So 1/4 of the tetrahedral voids are occupied by the cations of A. So these are occupied by A. And half of the octahedral voids are occupied by B. So half of the octahedral voids are 4, half of 4 is 2 again. So this is occupied by B. And where is oxygen? Oxygen is present in the CCP lattice, and in CCP lattice we are having 4 atoms, right? So the structure will become A2, B2, O4, and when we are going to simplify this further, this will become AbO2. So by default, my answer over here is going to be option D. Alright. Next question, number 3. When ZNO is heated, it loses oxygen and turns yellow. So when ZNO is heated, basically, it is going to form zinc 2+ ions, plus 2 electrons are lost here, and oxygen gas is also liberated out, and it turns yellow. The crystal having, now over here what is going to happen when zinc oxide is heated, these zinc ions are going to move in the interstitial side of a particular crystal structure. So when it will be moving in the crystal into the interstitial sides of a particular crystal system, now we can say that the number of metal atoms are in excess in that particular crystal structure, because zinc ions are also added in the interstitial side from outside. So over here the answer is going to be metal excess defect, option D. This is a metal excess defect. In this case, metal is present in excess amount as compared to the anions. Next, number 4, Frankel defect in a crystal is observed when what? Density of the crystal is increased. Density of the crystal does not increases in Frankel defect. It remains same. Unequal number of cations and anions are missing. No, that is also not right. Some ions leave their normal side and occupies the interstitial side. Yes, this is the right answer, because the atoms are, or the ions are going to leave their own spaces and move into the interstitial sides. So the density is going to remain same there. Fourth option was equal number of cations and anions are missing. Now this is not your Frankel defect, this is your Schottky defect. Alright, next question, moving on, number 5. Number of unit cells in 4 grams of X having the atomic mass 40, which crystallizes in BCC pattern, is how many? So now let's solve the question. Now when I'm talking about the BCC structure, in BCC structure we are having 2 atoms. So 2 atoms make how many unit cells? 2 atoms make 1 unit cell. And how many atoms do I have over here? Now over here I'm having 4 grams. So what is the number of moles? 4 upon 40 given weight upon molar mass. If I want to find out the number of atoms, I need to multiply this with Na. So 2 atoms are going to make 1 unit cell. 4 upon 40 into Na atoms are going to make how many unit cells? These are the number of atoms that is given to us. So this is going to give me equal to, this will become 0.1 into Na upon 2. So 0.1 into Na upon 2. So these many unit cells will be formed using 4 grams of this particular X atom. So answer is option C here. Alright. Moving on, next question, number 6. Select the correct relationship. So we need to tell over here the correct relationship. Lambda m is equals to kappa V for 1 mole. Absolutely correct. This is molar conductivity. Kappa is the reciprocal of resistivity. 1 by rho it is. For 1 mole, because now the concentration will also be 1 molar. Right? So answer is, correct relationship over here is this only. Let's see over here. Lambda m is equals to lambda m infinity. Not at all. This is not correct here. This relationship is totally wrong. Talking about the third relationship, lambda m is equals to lambda equivalent at infinite dilution upon n factor. This is also not right. What is the relationship between lambda m and lambda eq, or equivalent conductivity? Lambda m upon lambda equivalent or equivalent conductivity. This is actually equal to n factor. This is the relationship between these two. Alright. Moving next, number 7. Standard reduction potentials of 3 metals P, Q and R are plus 0.8, minus 1.18, minus 0.8 respectively. The order of increasing tendency of reduction of their cations will be what? So over here these are your options. Now please read the statement very carefully here. They are asking you the order of increasing tendency of reduction of their cations. So when we are talking about cations, so these values will be reciprocated here, and now the highest value will be for which case? Now if I'll talk about P, now this is having positive 0.8. So the reduction of cation will be minimum for this, because this is a positive value. Okay, this will be minimum over here, and then we will be having for minus 0.8 and then minus 1.8. So over here answer is going to be option B, P, R and Q. Next question, number 8. Calculate the EMF of the cell. So we are over here given with this equation. We have to calculate the EMF of the cell. Alright, so if I want to find out the EMF of the cell in this case, so how am I going to do that? Now simple question over here, you just have to apply the Nernst equation. How do you apply the Nernst equation? Nernst equation is E is equals to E naught minus 0.059 upon N log of concentration of products divided by the concentration of reactants. Right, so for that you need to find out the value of E naught as well. Now E naught over here is going to be what? E naught is going to be E naught is equals to E naught of cathode minus E naught of anode. Now which is the cathode here? Now over here cathode is undergoing reduction, so this Q is your cathode. So for Q the reduction potential is minus 0.5. This is the oxidation potential given to you. You have to take the reverse of it. So over here this will be minus 0.5 minus of. Now anode is 0.8. So this will become 0.8. So this is going to be 0.3 over here. 0.3 volt is your E naught value. Now over here 0.3 minus 0.059 upon number of electrons exchanged here. Number of electrons exchanged will be 6 because over here it is 3, over here it is 2. When you are going to balance this complete equation, the number of electrons exchanged will be 6 there. So log of concentration of product is 0.1 divided by the concentration of reactant, 0.1 upon 0.01. So this will be log 10, which will be equal to 1. Okay. Now when you will be solving this complete thing, then you will get your answer something will subtract from 0.3. So our answer has to be less than 0.3. It cannot be more than 0.3 here and not very less than that. So answer is by default option C. You don't have to even calculate this. Answer will be 0.26. Alright, moving on, question number 9. The values of resistance and resistivity of 0.1 molar solution of an electrolyte is 50 ohms and 77 ohm centimeter respectively. These are resistance and resistivity. The molar conductivity of the solution is what? So if I want to find out the molar conductivity is kappa into 1000 upon m. This is what I just told you. What is kappa? Kappa is 1 upon rho. So I'll be writing over here 1 upon rho is resistivity 77. 1 upon 77 into 1000 upon concentration over here is 0.1. So when you will solve this out, you're going to get the answer as 130. Although you will be getting the answer nearly 129.9 or 8 something, but after overcoming it, now this you will get the answer 130. Okay, just round this off and you'll get your answer. Moving on, question number 10. For a reaction between gaseous compounds, 2A and 2A plus B is going to give you C plus D. What is the rate? Rate is given like this. If the volume of the container is made 1/4 of the initial volume, keeping other variables constant. We have kept other variables constant here. Then what will be the rate of reaction as compared to the initial rate? Okay, now if I want to talk about the comparison of the two rates, now over here this is the equation and this is how the rate is given. Now rate is actually equal to K into the concentration of A. Concentration of A is going to decrease by 4 times now and also the square of it. So this upon 4 whole square, B upon 4. Now over here what will be the rate now? Earlier the rate was R, now this new rate will become what? 1/4 square, 1/16 into 4, 1/64 times the initial square that we had. Right? So this is the new rate. Now when we are going to take the basically the ratio of these two, what is asked to us in the question? What will be the rate of reaction compared to the initial rate? So initial rate was this. This was your initial rate. This is R prime. Okay. Now R prime upon R. This is going to give you what value? R prime is this much and R is this much complete. So R prime upon R will be equal to 1 upon 64 and you are going to get your answer as option number D. So your answer over here will be option D. Alright, next question number 11. The rate constant of a reaction increases by 1024 times when the temperature is changed from 27 degrees Celsius to 127 degrees Celsius. That is, temperature is increased by 100 degrees here. Okay. The activation energy of reaction is how much. So you have to find out the activation energy. Now, if I want to find out, basically, what is the equation? Log K2 upon K1 is equals to EA upon 2.303 R 1 upon T1 minus 1 upon T2. Now over here 27 degrees Celsius means we are talking about 300 Kelvin temperature, and 127 degrees Celsius means 400 Kelvin directly. Alright. Now if I want to solve this out, this value is given to me, this is also given, this is log 1024, because what is changing? Rate constant is increasing by 1024 times. So K2 is 1024 times than K1. So we have just substituted the value here. EA upon 2.303 into R is 19. 1 upon T1 minus 1 upon T2. So this will make, the difference is actually 100 upon 300 into 400, because you have to take the two temperatures into Kelvin. Okay, now zeros are cancelled here. Zeros will be cancelled. So this log 1024. See, log 1000 is 3. This is 1024. So this value has to be greater than 3 here. So log 1024 is actually 3.010 multiplied by 19 into, from here you will get 1 upon 1200. So 1200 is also multiplied here. This is equals to the activation energy. So when you will solve this out, you will get the answer nearly as 689 something 00. So now when you will be taking this in kilojoules, 68 point something will be your answer. That is option D. Alright. That's just remember this equation whenever we have to compare the rate constants of two different equations. So this is how we have to use at two different temperatures. Moving next, question number 12. Select the incorrect statement. Now over here, this is always less than 1. This is absolutely correct. Hydrolysis of this ester is a pseudo first order reaction. This is absolutely right, because over here hydrolysis, in the case of hydrolysis, water is taken in excess, and if one of the reactant is taken in excess, then by default we have pseudo first order reaction. An elementary reaction of fourth order is very unlikely. Correct. Fourth order is actually unlikely because 4 molecules cannot collide together effectively. Rate constant does not depend upon temperature. Now this statement is totally wrong, because rate constant is actually a factor of temperature only. Rate constant depends on temperature solely. So answer is option D here. This is the incorrect statement. Next question, number 13. The given graph is true for which order here? Now you have the relationship between T half and the initial concentration. This is the relationship. Right? Now over here, looking at the graph, you can clearly see T half is directly proportional to 1 by A naught, which is the initial concentration. So over here, if I'll just substitute the value of N equal to 2, so what it will become? 2 minus 1 is 1. So this is 1 upon A naught only, that is T half is directly proportional to 1 by A naught. So I can say that the order of the reaction over here is 2, that is second order reaction. Option C. Just remember the relationship between T half and the initial concentration here. Moving next, number 14. The slope of the graph of natural log K versus 1 by T for Arrhenius equation is what? Now, what is the equation basically that we have? Natural log K is equals to natural log A minus EA upon RT. So, what is the y-axis? On y-axis, we are going to take natural log K. On the x-axis, we will be taking 1 by T here. Right? So this will be my intercept. Natural log K will be natural log A will be the intercept, and EA minus EA upon R will be the slope. So what should be the answer? Option B. Alright. Next question, number 15. Vapor pressure of dilute aqueous solution of glucose is 750 mm of mercury at 373 Kelvin. So temperature is constant. The mole fraction of the solute is what? Now what is the equation that we have? Equation is what is the relative lowering of vapor pressure. So over here initially it was 760, now it is 750. So what is the lowered pressure here? 760 minus 750. 760 minus 750, and initial was 760 only. So this is actually equal to mole fraction of solute. This is what is lowering of vapor pressure. Now this is actually equal to 10 upon 760, or I can simply write over here 1 upon 76 is actually the mole fraction of the solute. So answer over here is going to be option A. Alright, next question number 16. A solution which will show positive deviation from Raoult's law is what? Now over here, just remember one thing. Whenever you are getting an acid, that means that particular solution is showing you negative deviation. So this is negative deviation over here. Chloroform acetone also shows the negative deviation. Benzene toluene will be an ideal solution, and over here ethanol acetone will show you a positive deviation from the Raoult's law. That means ethanol and acetone, there is not much interaction between them. Moving on, next question number 17. Which of the following is incorrect? Now we are talking about the incorrect for an ideal solution. Delta H is equals to 0, absolutely correct. Delta U is also 0, correct. Delta V is also 0, absolutely correct. Delta S should be positive. Delta G should be negative. So 2 and 5 are incorrect. So answer is option A. Alright, question number 17, after that 18. What will be the value of PB naught if total pressure of the solutions is given by P total is equals to 75 plus 150 into chi B. Now what is chi B here? If I want to, this equation is actually analogous to the equation that we have basically deduced while doing this chapter. So this is actually equal to PA naught plus PB naught minus PA naught into chi B. So if I'm going to compare these two equations, that means what is it? PA naught is actually equal to 75, correct? And PB naught minus PA naught is equal to 150. Right? So over here, if PB naught minus PA naught, like actually taking both these two equations over here, PA naught is 75. So PB naught is equals to 150 plus 75. Ultimately, you're going to get the answer as 225 here. So answer to this question is going to be option A. Alright, next question number 19. Which of the following has maximum freezing point? Maximum freezing point over here if I want to take. See, the colligative properties, depression in freezing point. More the value of Van 't Hoff factor, more lesser is the freezing point. So over here if I want to check out the maximum freezing point, that means the value of Van 't Hoff factor has to be lowest here. Over here, what is the value of Van 't Hoff factor? 3 potassium ions and 1 this complex. So the value of I is going to be 4 here. Aluminium sulfate, 2 aluminium ions, 3 sulfate ions, and over here I is going to be 5. I will be 2 here, I will be 3 here. So minimum value of I is over here. So answer is option C. Alright, next question number 20. The elevation and boiling point for 18 grams of glucose dissolved in 1 kg of water as solvent will be what? Now Kb is given to you, molar mass of glucose you already know. So what do you have to find out? Elevation in the boiling point. Delta Tb is equals to I Kb m. Right? Now Kb is given to me, correct? So Kb is what? 0.52. Okay. If I want to find out the molality is number of moles of solute per unit weight of the solvent. So number of moles of solute is how much? Now 18 upon 180. This is 0.1. Okay. Now further ahead over here, when I want to talk about the weight of the solvent, this is given to us as 1 kg. This is already given to us in kgs. So I'm just going to write over here 1 by 1. So what is it? 0.52 into 0.1, this will give you 0.052. So the answer over here is by default option B. Easiest calculation for this question. Alright, next question number 21. AS2O3 plus 3H2S, when this reaction basically happens, what do we get? We get the sulfide sol of arsenic. This is the sol that we are going to get. The colloidal solution formed is what? Now this is a stable sol that we are getting using the double decomposition process. Now the colloidal solution formed is over here irreversible as well as stable. Why are we calling it to be irreversible? Because now when this is formed, this is not again formed here. So this is an irreversible reaction. Now answer is option D here, both A and B. Okay, next question 22. Shape selective catalysis is a reaction catalyzed by what? Enzymes, platinum, zeolite or chromyl chloride. Now over here shape selective catalysts are basically zeolites. You all know that. So answer is option C. Next question 23. Colloidal solution in water is formed by which of these? Sulfur sol also forms the colloidal particles. Enzymes in water is also in the colloidal range. Then starch in water is also in the colloidal range. So over here answer is all of these. Option D. Alright, next question 24. Briggs arc method cannot be used for preparation of sol. For which of these? Platinum, gold, silver and sodium. Which of these here? So sodium is the correct answer. Rest all are the noble metals, noble elements which are not very reactive, inert. So these are used to, Briggs arc method is used to form their sol particles. Alright, but not for sodium. Moving next, 25. Which method of purification is represented by the equations below? Now nickel with carbon monoxide will be forming nickel tetracarbonyl here, and this will form the nickel plus CO. Now this nickel formed here is basically pure. So the process, the name of this process over here is Mond's process, option B. In Vanarkal method we basically purify titanium using this Vanarkal method. Vanarkal method is also similar to this. The difference is we just purify titanium using Vanarkal. Alright, next question 26. During the roasting of sulfide ores of copper, if the ore contains iron, it is mixed with silica before heating. Iron oxide slag off as what? So iron oxide is going to come out as impurities as what? So over here FeSiO3, FeSiO2, FeSO4 or FeS. So the slag over here is iron silicate, FeSiO3, option A. Alright, next question number 27. Element absent in copper pyrite. Now what is copper pyrite? Copper pyrite is CuFeS2. If you know this, then you can easily answer this question. Copper, iron and sulfur is present. Chlorine is not present in copper pyrite. Alright, question number 28. Ore of zinc is which one? Malachite is the ore of copper, siderite iron ore, iron carbonate, magnetite iron, again iron oxide, Fe3O4, then calamine is zinc carbonate. So answer is option B here, calamine. Siderite is FeCO3. This is also carbonate, but this is FeCO3. Alright, next is 29. Hydrolysis of which of the following is not the example of redox reaction? So you have to check out that which is not the example of redox. So when you will see this, over here XeF6 is not going to give you the redox reaction. Rest all are going to give you the redox reaction. So answer is option C here. Alright. Question number 30. Incorrect reaction among the following is or are what? Incorrect reaction is asked. Now when ammonium nitrate is heated, it is going to decompose as N2O and water will be released out. Ammonium dichromate is when heated, this is going to release out chromium oxide and nitrogen gas here. So I am going to get over here Cr2O3, which is green colored, plus nitrogen gas is liberated out, along with this water is liberated out. So this reaction is wrong. This is the incorrect reaction asked in this question, so answer should be option B. Next reaction over here is NO plus NO2 will be giving me N2O3, correct. NO2 plus water, this will be giving you NO and nitric acid. So when this brown gas or NO2 gas is hydrolyzed, nitric acid is produced. So this reaction is also correct. Only one is wrong. Over here nitrogen gas is evolved out. Moving on, question number 31. Hydrolysis of IF5 forms periodic acid, which is HiO3. When IF5 is basically hydrolyzed using water, we get the periodic acid where iodine is in +5 oxidation state. Okay. Question number 32. Number of PO bonds present in P4O6 molecule is how many? Now, if I will talk about the P4O6 molecule, we are going to have 4 such bonds here. Okay. Now, if I will be having 4 such bonds like this, P4O6. Now, Other 2 bonds are actually between these two. Now over here, these are basically the 4 bonds between P4O6. So my answer over here is going to be 4, option A. Alright, next question, number 33. Which among the following has the lowest melting point? Now this is from D and F block elements, lowest melting point is asked. So you know that manganese is having an exceptionally low melting point. Exceptionally low melting point is there, right? If we are having the exceptionally low melting point for manganese, why it is so? Because when I'm talking about manganese is actually having stable half-filled electronic configuration. So it is difficult for manganese to form metal-metal bond. It is next to impossible to form a stable metal-metal bond using manganese. So even if it is formed, it will be very easy to break that bond and this will melt down. So answer is manganese over here by default. Option B. Next question, 34. Easily reduced ion in the following is which one? Now you have to check out the electronic configurations here. Now titanium in +3 oxidation state is having 1s electron, right? It is having 1s electron, 4s1. Easily reduced means that it can easily take up 1 electron and stabilize itself to form 4s2. Right? So it can easily form 4s2. Whereas if I'll talk about vanadium 3 positive. Now vanadium 3 positive over here is going to have electronic configuration D2, right? Because 3 electrons are being lost here. So over here I am going to have D2 electronic configuration, and chromium over here and cobalt here are already stable electronic configuration. So by default my answer is going to be option A. Okay, next question, number 35. Which of the following option is the correct order for the basic strength? Now please remember one simple point over here for metallic hydroxides. As we move from left to right in the periodic table, what happens? Basic strength decreases. Basicity decreases from left to right. Acidity increases, non-metallic character increases. Acidity increases, basic character decreases. So over here, if I'll just see, now towards the left side, we are having calcium. Calcium is towards the left side. So it should have the maximum basicity. Okay, so calcium is maximum in 2 options. One is this, another is this. Then after that, aluminium is present on the right hand side in group 13. So aluminium should be having the least basic character. So over here, aluminium is over here. So answer is by default option A only. Cerium and lutetium are in between in the D block. In the F block elements, basically lutetium and cerium. Moving on, next, question number 36. Which of the following pairs of ions are colored in aqueous solution? So when I'm talking about the colored solutions here, colored solutions are basically deduced with the fact that we need to have the unpaired electrons. Alright, so if I'll talk about chromium 3 positive. So chromium in 3 positive oxidation state will be having D4 electronic configuration. So chromium is generally having, chromium in neutral state basically has 4s1 3d5 electronic configuration. In +3 oxidation state, this will have 3d3 electronic configuration, and this is stable. So all these 3 are unpaired, so these are going to be colored in nature. Now talking about titanium 3 positive, titanium has the electronic configuration 4s2 3d2. Alright, on the loss of 3 electrons, titanium 3 positive will make it 3d1. That is 1 electron is present. So answer is option A, because we are having electrons in the d subshell, so it is going to be colored. Whereas in all others there are no unpaired electrons present. Okay, talking about scandium, no unpaired electrons. Where over here scandium, no unpaired electrons. In both of them, no unpaired electrons. Okay, so no unpaired electrons. Alright, next question, number 37. This has what? Now over here this is K positive. Now this is going to be negatively charged complex. So negatively charged complex is nothing but this is an anionic complex. So answer is option D in this case, anionic complex. Next is 38. In which of the following ions the color is due to DD transition? So if I want to have the color because of DD transitions, that means there should be an electron in the D orbitals as well. Whereas if I'll talk about chromium here, chromium is in +6 oxidation state. That means all the electrons are being lost In D, we do not have any electron. So it cannot have the color because of the DD transition. Similarly, over here, this is having +6 electronic configuration, maximum possible electronic configuration. Again, no DD transition possible. Manganese in +7, maximum possible oxidation state. That means 0 electrons in D subshell. So this can also do not have DD transition here because no electrons are present in the D subshell. Now talking about iron. Iron in +3 oxidation state is going to have the D electrons. So therefore, the answer is option C. Iron over here. This compound or this complex is going to have the DD transitions. Color because of the DD transitions. Next question, 39. Which one of the following complexes is diamagnetic in nature? So we have to check out that which of them is going to be diamagnetic or which of them is going to have all the electrons as paired electrons. So talking about chromium in +3 oxidation state. Chromium in +3 oxidation state is going to have what? Now chromium basically has the electronic configuration 4s1 3d5. In +3 oxidation state, this will become 3d3. So 3d3 over here, that is unpaired electrons are present. So this will be paramagnetic in nature. Okay, now this is A. Talking about second option, iron in +3 oxidation state, again this will also be having some unpaired electrons. Okay, talking about this, iron in +2 again, it will also be have some unpaired electrons in it because we are having weak ligands in both these cases. Weak ligands cannot cause pairing of electrons, therefore unpaired electrons are left as such. So these two are also paramagnetic. Now we are left with the C option. Now talking about the C option, cobalt is basically having the electronic configuration 4s2 3d7. So when in +3 oxidation state, cobalt in +3 oxidation state, this will have 3d6. Now 3d6 is present, yes, definitely. Also this is a strong field ligand, therefore this causes the pairing of the electrons and hence all these 6 electrons will be paired to each other and now we are having a diamagnetic molecule here. So this is diamagnetic. What will be the hybridization over here? This will actually form because of the pairing of the electrons here. This will form the inner orbital complex because the 2d orbitals will be completely vacant now. So over here the hybridization will become d2sp3. Okay. Next question, number 40. The complex having dsp2 hybridization is what? Now dsp2 hybridization is asked. That means we need to have either the strong field complex, right? Now over here if I'll talk about the nickel carbonyl, nickel tetracarbonyl, now over here nickel is in 0 oxidation state. Okay, if nickel over here is in 0 oxidation state and we are having also carbonyl here. Now what is carbonyl? Carbonyl is, okay, nickel in 0 oxidation state. It is actually having the electronic configuration 4s2 3d8 and CO whole 4 I am having. Right? So CO whole 4 basically is a strong field ligand. This will cause the pairing of electrons and 1d orbital will be vacant now. If 1d orbital is vacant, now what is going to be the case? Now we will be having free d and then 5s will also be free and then p. Okay, then talking about the B option over here, nickel in +2 oxidation state. Nickel in +2 oxidation state will have again 3d8 electronic configuration, but over here D subshell is not free. Why D subshell is not free? Because this is a weak field ligand. We cannot pair electrons here. Talking about manganese in +2 oxidation state, again we cannot do the pairing of electrons here, so D subshell is not free because we are having bromine as the weak field ligand. Talking about palladium Cl4 2 negative. Now in this case, in C part, palladium is in +2 oxidation state. Although we are having over here weak field ligand, but then also palladium or the higher electrons always form the square planar geometry. So answer over here is by default option C. Okay, next question, number 41. Sodium forms body-centered cubic crystals. What is the atomic radius of sodium if the length of the side of unit cell of sodium is this much? Now what is given to us? Length of the side, that is A is given to me. Okay, so sodium forms BCC crystal. BCC in body center, we are the atoms which are touching each other are on the corners and the body center. That is, we have to find out the body diagonal over here. What do we have to find out? What is the atomic radius of sodium? So what are we going to get here? Now root 3a is basically your body diagonal. and root 3a is actually having how many radius? Because we are having over there 3 atoms, so it will be having 4r. So I can simply say root 3a is equals to 4r. And what is a? A is nothing but 429.56 picometers, and we have to find out the value of r from here. So my answer by default will be option B, 186 picometers. Alright, just solve this out, just get the value of r, and ultimately you'll get this answer, 186 picometers. Moving next, talking about the 42nd question. The appearance of color in solid alkali metal halides is generally due to what? So it is generally because of F centers, if you remember. F centers, which are also called as Fabe, which is a Greek word named color. Okay. Next is question number 43. In 43rd question, what is the case? Now we are having current of 96.5 amperes is passed for 18 minutes through 500 milliliter solution of 2 molar copper sulfate. Now please remember, we are having 2 molar copper sulfate using platinum electrodes. Okay, first of all, what do we have to find out? We have to find out over here the weight deposited using the Faraday's law over here. So what we are basically having in this case, W is equals to ZIT, right? Now, or charge over here, let's find out the charge, not the weight. We can find out the weight as well if you wish to. Charge is Q into I into T. Current is over here 96.5, time is 18 minutes. 18 minutes into 60 to convert this into seconds. So over from here you are going to get some charge. Okay, now this much charge is basically able to deposit 1 mole of or 1 gram equivalent of copper, and we are basically given over here 2 molar. So you have to multiply that thing with 2, because no, it is not 1 molar here, it is 2 molar here. Just multiply this with 2 and you will get your answer as option C, which is 0.92 molar. Alright, simple. Just calculate the charge. This much charge is basically essential to deposit how much copper. You have to find out that. Then just multiply that with 2 and ultimately you will get your answer here. Moving next, question number 44. Decomposition of A into B and C. So I will be getting over here. Right. Follows first order kinetics. So the order is first order. If K is the rate constant of the reaction, then degree of dissociation we have to find out of gas A after time T. Now over here, let's say the initial concentration of A was A0. Over here this was 0 and this was 0. Because we are over here talking about the first order kinetics. So in first order kinetics, what is the equation? In first order kinetics we have AT is equals to A0 e raised to the power minus KT. This is your first order kinetics exponential equation. Now over here A0, after time T, what is left? Now this is at T is equals to 0. After time T, we are going to have A0 e raised to the power minus KT. Now over here I will be having e raised to the power minus KT, e raised to the power minus KT. Okay. Now what is the degree of dissociation? It has been asked. So if I want to find out the degree of dissociation, now that will be deduced with respect to the initial concentration. So what is the degree of dissociation? This was the initial, this was the final here, right? Now degree of dissociation, if I want to find out, A0 minus A0 e raised to the power minus KT upon A0. So I am going to take A0 common here, and A0 and A0 above and below will be cancelled out, and I will get the answer as 1 minus e raised to the power minus KT. So answer is option C here. Just remember, don't forget to use this formula over here, the exponential formula for first order kinetics. Alright. Question number 45. In a first order reaction A giving you 2B, the total pressure changes from 100 to 150. That means initial pressure was 100 when the reaction has not started. But once the reaction has been started. Now let me just take the hypothetical expressions here. Let this be P0 and this is P. Now this is at T is equals to 0. After time T, this is P0 minus small p. Over here we'll be getting small 2p. Okay. Now according to the question, P0 was equals to 100 mm mercury because initial pressure was 100. Final pressure is at time T. Now what is the total of this? P naught minus P plus 2P. This is going to give me P naught plus P, which is 150 mm mercury. Alright, so in this case P naught is 100. So what is the value of P? P will come out to be 50 now. Now what is 2P? 2P is 100. So what do I have to find out in this case? Now this is actually passed for 10 minutes from the start of the reaction. The rate of appearance of B I have to find out. So that means, what do I have to find out? I have to find out dB concentration divided by dt. What is dB here? This is 100. So 100 upon what is the time? 10 minutes. So this is 10 mm mercury per minute. So answer is option D here. Alright, next question, number 46. For an exothermic reaction which is delta H equals to minus 60. So this is your change in enthalpy. Now if I'll be having an exothermic reaction here, in the case of exothermic reaction, what is the scenario? The enthalpy of the reactants is higher as compared to the enthalpy of the product. So over here, this is how the reaction progress occurs. This is energy over here, this is your reaction progress in this case. Alright, now this is the energy of reactants, or I can write it down over here. This is the energy of the product. Now I know that EP minus ER over here is given to me as minus 60 kilojoules. Okay, because this is an exothermic reaction. Activation energy for the forward reaction is 130. So this is given to me as 130 kilojoules. So what is given to me? Activation energy is given to me. This is also given to me as 60. Now the question is asking us that what is the activation energy for the backward direction? That is, if these are the reactants, then what will be the activation energy for the backward reaction? So for the backward reaction, activation energy will be 130 plus 60, which is going to be 190 kilojoules. So my answer over here is going to be option B. Alright, next question, number 47. The protective power of lyophilic colloids is measured by what? Isoelectric point, coagulation value, gold number or charge. So this is actually deduced by gold number. Actually, what is the relationship here? Gold number is inversely proportional to the protective power. We are having the inverse relationship. Lesser the gold number, higher will be the protective power, and vice versa. Moving next, question number 48. In which of the following compounds of sulfur no SS linkage is or are present? So what should be the answer? No SS linkage is present. Now if I'll talk about H2S3, SO3, H2S2O3, now over here S2 is this. This is the structure of H2S2O3. Talking about H2S2O7, when I'll be drawing H2S2O7, this is basically oleum. We are having this linkage. These are the oxygen is the one which is going to connect the two sulfurs in H2S2O7. Similarly, in H2S2O8, I am having peroxy linkage between them. So this is your H2S2O8 here. So this is also not having the SS linkage. So SS linkage is absent in B and C option. So answer is option D. Alright, next question 49. When MnO2 is fused with KOH in alkaline solution, this is your oxidizing agent here, a colored compound is formed. The product and its color is what? Now initially this is basically the preparation of KMnO4. This is the first step of the preparation of KMnO4 when K2MnO4 is formed, and K2MnO4 is green in color. Now this K2MnO4 is further oxidized to form KMnO4, which is purple colored, but in this step K2MnO4 which is green colored. Answer is option A. Next question 50. Last question of this test. During the metallurgy of iron, flux used is which? NaCl, SiO2, P4O10 or calcium carbonate. So the flux that we basically used is your basic flux, which is calcium carbonate, to eliminate all the acidic impurities from it. Alright, so these were the 50 questions of chemistry that we had to discuss. Thank you so much everyone. Now further on we will be discussing botany part as well. So stay tuned for that.
Hello everyone students, today we are going to discuss about this minor test 3 of AIRTS, and here we are going to discuss about botany. So here is the schedule of this test AIRTS of NEET as it is going on. We have started on the 28th November. Today we are going to discuss about the third one. It is the schedule here. Third one was conducted yesterday 26th and minor test 4 will be on 9/01. So link is in the description if you want to register. So let's get started. First question here students is statement A. Gametes are haploid in nature and usually a direct product of meiotic division. So obviously here we are having the gametes and we are saying they are haploid in nature. This is true. Their ploidy is N and usually a direct product of meiotic division. So obviously meiosis is giving us haploid cell and it is gamete here. This statement is correct. Statement B says that haploid organism produce gametes by mitosis. Here we are talking about the haploid organism. So obviously if the organism is haploid, it will be undergoing the mitosis because we will have here the equational division. We are not requiring here the reductional division. So mitosis will give us gametes. So obviously both the statements here are correct. We are having the correct option here, C. Both statement A and B are correct. If you want to see here, we are having these different life cycles. See here, life cycle of animal, plants and some algae and most fungi and some protists. So if we want to justify our first statement, it was saying that gametes are haploid in nature and the direct product of meiotic division. See here, we are having the production of gametes, haploid cell, and it is the direct product of meiotic division here. Reductional division giving us gametes. So this first statement is correct. And if we want to justify the next statement, haploid organism produces gametes by mitosis. So obviously here we were talking about the diploid organism. If we have to see the haploid organism, see the third cycle here, we are having here haploid unicellular or multicellular organism. So obviously it will be producing the gametes with the help of mitosis. It is haploid in nature. Mitosis is again giving us the gametes. We are not requiring here the reductional division, that is the meiosis. So both the statements are correct here. Another question, choose correct statement with respect to the male gametophyte of flowering plants. Here we have to talk about male gametophyte. So we are having certain options here. Prominent single layered structure. Is it so? This is incorrect. Exine is soft and is pactocellulosic in nature. So obviously it is not soft and it is not single layered. Both the statements, they are incorrect. We have to see the correct. Third statement is saying intine is thin and continuous layer. This one is correct with respect to the male gametophyte in the flowering plants. D is saying inner layer has prominent aperture called jumpo. This is also incorrect. If you see the structure here, we are having this structure magnified here, cross section here. We are having here the exine. As you can see, it is the outer protective layer. So obviously it is not soft here. This one is incorrect. Intine, it is here continuous and as it is said thin. Obviously this one is correct. Now where is the jump pore present? It is present in the exine. As you can see here, the dark green layer. It is having the jump pore here. So obviously D is also incorrect. Now the first one, prominent single layered structure. Obviously it is incorrect. We are having many layers here in the male gametophyte. So obviously C option is correct. Another question, female gametophyte formation from a single megaspore is termed as. Here we are talking about female gametophyte in the flowering plants. So when it is forming from a single megaspore, obviously by the term itself we can understand it will be known as monosporic development. But how it is happening, we can see here. See here, one megaspore. Again, with the help of mitosis, we are having multiple cells in it. So this is the formation of female gametophyte, as we will see in the angiosperms, and this is also known as polygonum type. Polygonum or monosporic kind of development we are having here. See here, first mitosis, second mitosis, third and the fourth, last one. So we are having here the female gametophyte, antipodals are formed, central cell is formed, synergids are formed, polar nuclei and egg cell, they are formed here. So obviously this kind is known as monosporic. We are having from the single megaspore the development of this female gametophyte, monosporic or the polygonum type. So this B option here is correct with respect to the flowering plants. As we can see here, single one, here one megaspore giving after multiple divisions this embryo sac here or the female gametophyte here. Another question, the gynoecium of papaver is, we have to see the papaver gynoecium is what kind of, here we are having options. Is it monocarpellary? Is it multicarpellary or syncarpous? So obviously students, when it is having one carpel, we are calling it as monocarpellary here. When it is having multiple carpels, we are calling it as multicarpellary. Or when it is fused, syncarpous means here it will be fused. Another options we are having multicarpellary, obviously multiple carpels, but they are not fused, so we are calling it as apocarpous. And the last one here is unicarpellary. Obviously it is having one carpel here. So the papaver, as you can see here, it is multicarpellary. Carpels are many and they are fused. See here in the structure, you can see they are fused. So obviously it will be known as syncarpous. So our option here B is correct with respect to the papaver somniferum here. So we are having this condition, multicarpellary here, carpels are multi and they are fused together, that is why we are calling them as syncarpous. Another question, in which of the following genetic conditions each cell in the affected person has 3 copies of 21st chromosome? Is it Turner syndrome here, or is it cystic fibrosis, Down syndrome or hemophilia? So obviously students, when we are having 3 copies of the 21st chromosome, we are calling it as trisomy 21. And it is example of basically the cause of Down syndrome. Here we are having the human karyotype. As you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 till we are having here 22 and Y chromosome here. So obviously here the 21st chromosome, it is having here 3 copies, not 2 copies. That is why we are calling it as trisomy 21, which is the cause of or we can say the characteristic of Down syndrome here, and it affects the phenotype, mental development of the person or the individual having this karyotype here. Another question, a woman is a carrier for hemophilia. Her chromosome having the mutant allele for hemophilia can be inherited by only sons, only daughters, only grandsons, both sons and daughters. So we will see here, we are having the cross between a woman who is a carrier for this disease or having the mutant allele for hemophilia, and her chromosome having the mutant allele will be passed to, will be inherited by. See here we are having the cross, carrier female and the normal male. So if she is the carrier, she will be having the mutant allele here. She is having this mutant allele on her X chromosome. So we are having the normal male, it is having the normal X here. Now the gametes which are formed, we are having the segregation here, and after that crossing, what we are having? Normal female, carrier female, normal male and hemophilic male. So obviously male here is hemophilic, but the female here is carrier. So she has inherited this mutant allele, but she is not having this disease, because this kind of disorder is X-linked and recessive. So she should be homozygous for this mutant allele if she has this disease. So if she is having only one mutant allele here, she is carrier female, and the son, he is hemophilic male, as he is hemizygous for it. I can write it here. He will express the disease even if he is hemizygous for this mutant allele. So we are having this disorder, hemophilia recessive X-linked here, and it is inherited by both the son and daughter here from the carrier female. So we are having the option as D correct. Both son and daughters, they are inheriting this mutant allele, whereas the daughter is carrier in this case and son, he is affected here. He is having the disease. He is hemophilic. Another question, which of the following features describe sickle cell anemia in the most appropriate manner? A. Dominant gene disorder, B. sex-linked recessive trait, C. Mendelian disorder, and D. chromosomal disorder. Obviously, this is not the chromosomal disorder here. We are talking about the sickle cell anemia. It is the Mendelian disorder, as it is following the Mendelian laws of inheritance. If we see the cross here, C for the sickle cell anemia, we are having sickle cell trait, and it is also the sickle cell trait. So we can see here it is not X or Y linked. It is not having here the sex chromosomes. So obviously our B option here is incorrect. We are having this disorder as autosomal. It is autosomal recessive disorder. So we are having here the mutant allele, as you can see here, the gametes, we are having the formation mutant allele here, and this is also mutant allele here. We are having the inheritance of this mutant allele. We are having 25% of the people, they are normal, or the offspring, they are normal. 50% they are having this trait, and 25% they are having this disease. So this is autosomal recessive kind of disease we are having, which we are calling as sickle cell anemia. So A, B option, they are also incorrect. We are having this Mendelian disorder, as it is following the Mendelian laws of inheritance. Another question here is, ESTs refer to express sequence time, express sequence tags, expression sequence team, expressed social tags. So obviously when we were studying about the human genome project, so we have seen there the application of these ESTs, and we are calling them as expressed sequence tags. See here, we are having these examples of EST or the expressed sequence tags, as they are helping in the sequencing of the genome. From the complementary DNA, we are having the synthesis of these ESTs, and we have exploited them in the sequencing of different kinds of genomes. Now another question we are having here is, statement A, part of the structural gene which gets actively transcribed is equivalent to a cistron. So obviously the structural gene which will be transcribed is equivalent to the cistron. This statement is here correct. Statement B, spliceosomes are not found in the cells of bacteria. They are not having their application there in the bacteria, in the prokaryotes. So obviously we are not having their spliceosomes. So both the statements, they are correct here, and we are having the correct option as C. See here, here we are talking about the eukaryotes. We are not having the application of spliceosome. As you can see here, they are removing here the introns, splicing the process here, removing the introns from this DNA strand, and the exon will be remaining here. They will be joined together because exons are expressible part of the DNA strand here. So obviously spliceosome, they are required in the eukaryotes, they are not required in the prokaryotes. So we are not having the application of spliceosome in these prokaryotes, they are not present in the bacteria. So basically we see here, we are having the pre-mRNA. Here we are talking about the eukaryotes. They are having exon, intron, exon, intron. Introns are interrupted sequences. They are not playing the role in the formation or the synthesis of protein. They are not required here. So obviously exon is the expressible part we are having in the DNA strand. In the eukaryotes, we need to remove these introns. With the help of spliceosomes, it is done. So spliceosome, they are having their application in the eukaryotes. Another question, select the mismatched pair, ribozyme, nucleic acid, Alex Jeffrey DNA fingerprinting here, and UAA stop codon, and D George Gamow deciphering replication. So obviously here when we talk about the George Gamow, he was related to the genetic code. So we are having this mismatched pair here. Otherwise Alex Jeffrey, obviously he was for DNA fingerprinting, UAA, UAG and UGA are the stop codons here, and ribosome is having this nucleic acid also. So we are having the mismatched pair here is D. Another question, how many different types of gametes will be produced by the plant having the genotype RR, YY, SS, capital T, small t and UU here. So we have to find out the type of gametes. See here, we are having this genotype. See here students, it is having both the alleles, they are same here. Small y, both the alleles, they are same here. Capital S and small s, it is heterozygous here. And capital T, small t, it is also heterozygous. When we have to find out the type of gametes, we are having a formula here, it is 2 to the power n. And n here is corresponding to the type of heterozygous alleles we are having. So we are having in case of capital T small t and capital S small s. So in 2 we are having here the different kinds of alleles. So it will be 2 here. So 2 to the power 2, we are having 4 type of gametes. We will be having 4 type of gametes from this combination or this genotype here. We can also write it as capital R, small y, because they are having the same alleles here, and capital S, capital T, U. One gamete, capital R, small y, capital S, small t and U. R, Y and U, they will be same because they are having the same alleles here. Both the alleles, they are same here. 2 type of gametes. Now the third one will be capital R, small y, small s, capital T and U. Capital R, small y, small s, small t and U. These are the 4 type of gametes we will be having from this genotype, and from our formula also we are having this 4 type of gametes. So we are having the correct option here, B4. Another question, a colorblind woman marries a man with normal vision, but he had a colorblind father here. What percentage of their sons can be colorblind? So, here if the statement is given colorblind father, it has no value or it has no meaning here, because if a father is colorblind, as we are having in the color blindness, crisscross inheritance. So colorblind father cannot pass his mutant allele to his son. So obviously it has no relevance here. Not needed. So if we have to see here colorblind woman. So she is colorblind here. As this color blindness is a I can write it here, X-linked recessive genetic disorder. So obviously if a woman is colorblind, she has to have homozygous mutant allele for this. So XC, XCs both are mutant allele here on the X chromosome. She is marrying a normal person, XY. Why? Because it is not having any relevance here. Colorblind father he was having, but this colorblind father will not pass its mutant allele to his son. So he is normal here. Now we are having this combination in the offspring. So it is saying that what percentage of their sons can be colorblind. So we are having here son who is colorblind. So obviously 100% of the son they will be colorblind, as the mother she is colorblind having mutant alleles on the X chromosome. So we are having the correct option here, A. Another question, continuous self-pollination results in inbreeding depression. So we are having continuous self-pollination. So obviously it will also accumulate not required or not desired characteristics. So it can lead to, or we can say not very useful characteristics will be accumulated with the help of this continuous self-pollination. So we can say it leads to inbreeding depression. This statement is correct here. Another statement says that monoecious conditions prevent autogamy as well as geitonogamy. As you can see here in this image, we are having autogamy. So fertilization is happening in the same flower. Here geitonogamy, fertilization is happening between two flowers present on the same plant. So if we are saying that monoecious condition, in monoecious condition, same plant is having female flowers as well as the male flowers. So we are having the female flowers and the male flowers. So it can prevent autogamy, as the same flower is not having both the structures, female and male reproductive structures. So autogamy can be prevented. This condition can be prevented, but geitonogamy cannot be prevented. So this statement is incorrect here. So we have the correct option as only A statement is correct here. Another question, it should read the following statements and we have to see which of the following statements they are fulfilling here the genetic material criteria, suitable for the genetic material here. First statement, it says that it should be able to generate its replica. So obviously, if we talk about the DNA, is it able to replicate itself? So obviously, it is able to replicate itself, generate its replica. As we have seen in the case of semi-conservative kind of replication, it is producing its copies. It is very required for the survival of the organism. So first statement here is correct. Second statement, it should be stable structurally but not chemically. So this one is incorrect. It needs to be stable because we are having different kinds of factors, internal, external. The genetic material should be stable structurally as well as chemically. Third statement says that it should provide scope for fast changes. Here we are talking about the fast changes. This is mutation. So if the genetic material is getting mutated easily, it is not the perfect genetic material. As RNA was having this criteria, it was not very stable here. So if we talk about the DNA, obviously it should provide scope for, it should not provide scope for fast changes. That is, mutation should not happen very frequently in the genetic material. So this statement is also incorrect. Fourth statement says that it should be able to express itself in the form of Mendelian characters. So this statement here is correct. We are having its inheritance according to these laws, Mendelian characters we are having. So fourth statement here is correct. We are having the incorrect statements as second and third. So how many of the above criteria is fulfilled by the molecule acting as a genetic material? We are having correct option as B, first and fourth only. Another question, select the incorrect statement with respect to sex determination in honey bee. So we have to see the incorrect one with respect to the sex determination in honey bee. We are having the options unfertilized eggs develop as drone. This one is correct. B saying also called as haplodiploid sex determination system. This one is also correct here. Females have half the number of chromosomes as males. This one is incorrect here. Sex determination in honeybee or also chromosomal basis of sex determination. So we are having this statement here incorrect. Fourth statement says that sex determination pattern is based on the sets of chromosomes an individual has. So obviously I have said that it is also having this chromosomal basis of sex determination in case of honeybees. So we are having the correct option here, C. It is the incorrect statement here. See here students, the haplodiploid system, as in the case of honeybees, a sex determination in these, we are having 32 in case of females and 16 in case of males. So this statement here is incorrect. Another question here is, how many of the given structures are common in the seeds of orchid and rice plants? So here we are having scutellum, coleoptile, epiblast, endosperm. One thing has to be remembered that orchid is non-endospermic kind of seed. And rice, it is endospermic. So obviously we can remove this as it is not common for both. We are having only 3 here which are common for both rice and orchid here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. C option here is correct. Another question, which of the following pairs of plant structures has haploid set of chromosome? We have to see haploid. Egg nucleus, secondary nucleus. So egg nucleus, obviously it is having N. But if we talk about the secondary nucleus, see here students, polar nuclei, when they are combining, it is forming here secondary nucleus. So obviously it will be having 2n kind of 2n kind of ploidy here. So we are having the secondary nucleus, it is having 2n. Microspore mother cell and synagogue cell, are they having a haploid set of chromosomes here? So microspore mother cell, obviously it will be diploid in nature. And if we talk about the synagogues here, as you can see, they are haploid. Third one, if we see pollen grain and antipodal cell. Antipodal cell, obviously they will be haploid, and pollen grain, it will also be haploid here. Nucellus cell and egg cell. Egg cell, it will be haploid, but nucellus, it will be diploid in nature. So the haploid set of chromosome, they are present here in C option. Pollen grain and antipodal cell, they are haploid in nature. Another question here. Statement A says that perisperm differs from endosperm in being a diploid tissue. So if we talk about the ploidy of endosperm, it is 3N, triploid. And if we talk about the perisperm, which is nucellus, we can say it is diploid. So this statement is correct here. Statement B says that product of sexual reproduction generally generates new genetic combination leading to variation. So obviously this is one of the advantage of sexual reproduction. So we are having this statement also correct. Genetic combination, recombination, it is giving us variation here. Are basis of the speciation, as we have seen in the evolution also. So both the statements, they are correct. C is correct option. Another question, how many amino acids can be polymerized by the given mRNA sequence during the translation in bacteria? Here we are talking about the translation which is happening in the bacteria. So we will have the synthesis of protein. So we have to see here how many amino acids they can be synthesized. We are having the sequence here. See here, stop codon. This one will stop the process. Now first one is our initiator also, and it will also form here modified kind of methionine. As we are talking about the prokaryotes here. If we have talked about the eukaryotes, it will be giving us methionine. But here we are talking about the bacteria, prokaryote, modified kind of methionine will be given by it. So we are having this amino acid. Now second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth and ninth. And the last one will be the stop. So here the translation will stop. So amino acids we will be having 9. So we are having 5, 7, 9 and 10. C option here is correct. Another question, select the incorrect statement regarding DNA packaging in organisms having 70 S ribosomes only. Here we are talking about the organism which is having 70 S ribosomes. So obviously we are here talking about prokaryotes. Now student, there was one correction in this question here. We have to see here the correct. So obviously this statement here is incorrect. We have to see the correct statement regarding DNA packaging which is happening in the prokaryotes. So we are having the statements DNA is not scattered throughout the cell. This is also incorrect here. DNA is held with some positively charged protein called histones. We are not here talking about the eukaryotes. So this statement is also incorrect here. They lack DNA as the RNA is the genetic material among them. This is also incorrect. As we have seen in the case of prokaryotes, bacteria, they are having the DNA. So obviously this statement is incorrect here. We are having the last option here. DNA in the form of nucleoid is organized in small loops. As you can see here, we are having the nucleoid DNA and it is in loop form. So obviously this statement is correct here with respect to the prokaryotes. So we are having one correction in this question, that we have to select the correct option here. So D option here is correct. Another question, under which of the following condition will there be no change in the reading frame of following mRNA? So we have to see when reading frame will not change, and the basis for that is we have to see either we are having addition or deletion of 3 bases. Why? Because we are having our codon which is triplet in nature. Triplet codon. See here, first option, insertion of G at 5th position. So we are having this sequence. if we are inserting one more G here, so obviously the reading frame will be changed. Deletion of C at 5th position, so obviously this will also shift our reading frame here. Deletion of GCG from 7th, 8th and 9th positions respectively. So obviously we are deleting here 3 bases, triplet codon, and from different positions. So obviously frame will be unchanged. We will be having the deletion and the triplet codons, they will be removed from here. Insertion of A at second position. Whenever we are adding or deleting one or more less than 3, so obviously we will be having the shift in the reading frame here. So we are having this example also. See here, if 3 bases they are deleted, we are having this amino acids and this is the sequence here. And this is the sequence here. Delete 3 bases and we have deleted here this and this. See here, amino acids do not change after 3rd deletion. So obviously, as we are having our codon as triplet, if we are deleting 3 bases or the triplet codon here, we will not have the change in the reading frame. So obviously, this option here is correct. Another question, the term used to describe physical association of genes on a chromosome is known as recombination, linkage, crossing over, mutation. So we have to see here physical association of genes on a chromosome. Obviously, here we are talking about the linkage. As you can see here, gene 1 and 2, physical association here we are talking. So gene 1, gene 2 on a chromosome, it is linked. We are talking here about the linkage. And they are not linked here, obviously they are on the different chromosome, and they are also having a large distance between them. There is somewhat we can say no physical association between them, or they are separated from each other, having large distance, so they are also not linked here. So here we are talking about the linkage, physical association of gene on a chromosome. Another question, which of the following sequence appear in mature or processed RNA? We are here talking about mature or processed RNA. See here students, after the transcription, what we are having here? Primary RNA transcript. We are having the transcription and we are getting primary RNA transcript. Now what is the difference between it? We are having the exons plus introns. See here, exons in the blue color and introns. So these portions in the primary we are having. And when it is removed, as we have seen in the case of spliceosome, we were talking about splicing was done, we are having the removal of these introns. And introns are removed, and after that we are getting the mature mRNA. So we have to see what we are not having in this mature mRNA. See here, introns are we having? Obviously no. Intervening sequences we are calling to introns only. So we are not having these portions. And exons, obviously we are having the exons, they are the expressible part of the strand. So we are having this in. So which of the following sequence appear in mature or processed RNA? We are having exons here. So answer is C. Another question, DNA dependent RNA polymerase catalyze the polymerization in only one direction. This statement is correct. We are having the RNA polymerase which is DNA dependent and it will polymerize in one direction. Statement B says that the template strand of the transcription unit has 5' to 3' polarity here. We are having this transcription unit. See here, we are having template strand and its polarity is from 3' to 5'. So obviously this statement B here is incorrect. Only A statement here is correct. We are having the correct option as A. In his classic experiments on pea plants, which of the following characters Mendel did not use? So we have to see which are the characters of the pea plants on which Mendel has worked. Pod shape, obviously it was full constricted. Flower position, it was also there. Seed size, it was not there, so we are not having this character. Mendel has not worked on it. Stem height, tall, dwarf, the most common example of crossing we are having in the monohybrid cross. So we are having the correct option here is C. As you can see here, it was having the flower color, purple, white, seed color, yellow, green, seed texture. These are all the characters which Mendel has taken into account while working on the pea plant. Pod color, green, yellow, pod shape. He has taken their seed color and seed texture. Seed size was not taken. Flower position, axial and terminal, he was having plant height also. Another question, match the following. This is regarding here sex determination. Now we have to match here. Grasshopper, human, birds, butterflies. So human, the most common we can say it is having XXXY type. The third one here. So 2 is for 3. So obviously, and the birds we are having Z, W and ZZ. These are the most common we have studied. So we can see here the 2 goes for 3. So obviously in the A and B option we are having, and the 3 goes for 1. So obviously B option will be correct. If we talk about the grasshopper, it is having the XX and XO type of sex determination. And the butterflies, insects, they are having here ZO and ZZ type. We can also see here the female, male in the Drosophila in the humans, XX and XY. Birds, they are having ZW and Z kind of sex determination. Grasshoppers, XX and XO, and honeybees, it was depending on the haploidy or the diploidy of the chromosomes, as we have studied earlier also. Another question, read the following statements. Here we are talking about the genes. So how many of the above statements are true? We have to see the correct statements regarding genes. They occur in pairs. Obviously, we are having here the alleles. This is correct for the genes. Segregate at the time of gamete formation, and only one of each pair is transmitted to a gamete. So when we are having capital T, or I can take capital T, small t. So obviously at the time of gamete formation, we will have capital T and small t. So this statement is also correct here. Independent pairs always segregate independently of each other. This is not correct, as we are having in this statement always, because there are exceptions, as in the case of linkage. As we have seen, the physical association of genes on a chromosome, it is hampering this process here. Independent pairs, they are not always segregating independently of each other. So obviously, how many of the above statements they are true for the genes? First and second. So we are having the correct option as A. Another question, in a marriage between a male with blood group A and female with blood group AB, their children cannot have the dash blood group. So we know that blood group, it is having multiple alleles, multiple allelism, codominance, they are shown by the human blood group, that is ABO. So we are having alleles IA, IB and small I, that is for O type of blood group. So we talk about a male which is having blood group A. So it can have the genotype IAA or IA small I, as it is dominant over the small I here. So male can have these genotypes. Now the female, it is having blood groups this. So obviously her genotype will only be this, IA and IB. So to have this O blood group, we need to have II combination, II genotype. Is it possible? A is possible, obviously, when we will be having IAA or IA small I. B is possible when we are having IB and small I. AB is also possible when we are having this combination, but this cannot be possible as we are having only one allele, that is small I, in case of if it is there in case of blood group A. So we are having the correct option here, D. Another question, in majority of flowering plants, female gamete has a filiform apparatus. Here we are talking about the majority. There are numerous antipodal cells. We have seen that they are 3. Generally we can say meiosis occurs in megaspore mother cell and pollen mother cells. So obviously they are diploid and only reductional division can give us haploid cell. So reductional division will give us gametes. So obviously this statement here is correct with respect to the flowering plants. D, seeing a small central cell containing single nucleus in the embryo sac. So we are not having, we are having their polar nuclei. So obviously this C statement here is correct with respect to the majority of the flowering plants. Another question, statement A, residual and persistent nucellus in seeds of black pepper is known as perisperm. As we were talking about the perisperm, it was diploid, and if we talk about the black pepper here, it is residual and persistent nucellus here. So it is correct here, statement A. Statement B says that orchid's fruit contain thousands of tiny seeds. So it is having multiple ovules here. We can say that it will have many seeds. So statement B is also correct. So we are having C, both statement A and B are correct. Perisperm, as you can see in this black pepper seed, we are having this residual and persistent nucellus here. So we are having this formation of perisperm in the black pepper seed, and also we are having in the orchid fruit multiple seeds here. So both the statements, they are correct. Another question, flowers which have a single ovule in the ovary and are packed into inflorescence are usually pollinated by. So students, when we are having very light seed, so obviously it is having advantage and it will be easily pollinated by wind. It will not be requiring here the insects, animals, and it will not be quite showing in nature. So obviously it will be easily pollinated with the wind as it is having the single ovule and it is packed into the inflorescence. So C option here is correct. Another question, which of the following statement is incorrect? We have to see here incorrect statement. Recombination refers to generation of non-parental gene combination. So obviously when we are having the recombination, we are getting here the non-parental gene combination. We are having the variations. Morgan used the fruit flies for his experiments. We have also seen there. So Morgan related to fruit flies here. Tightly linked genes show very high recombination. And the last statement says that loosely linked gene on same chromosome show high recombination. So we are having a relationship, linkage directly proportional to recombination. When we are having tightly linked genes, they will have less or no recombination there. So we are having the relationship between the distance of the genes and the recombination here. So this statement says that tightly linked genes, they show very high recombination. Obviously this statement is incorrect. Loosely linked gene on same chromosome show high recombination. So if they are far apart, if they are having the distance between them, they will show the recombination. So this statement is also correct here. As you can see here, these two genes, we are having the percentage of recombination here. These two genes having distance between them, and obviously they will be having less recombination percentage. They are linked together. A and C, they are also a little bit apart in comparison to the A and B. So they are having high chances of recombination. So we can say that distance between the genes, farther the genes, they will have high chances of recombination. So here C option is incorrect. Another question here is BAC stands for banana artificial chromosome, bacterial artificial chromosome, bat artificial chromosome, band artificial chromosome. Obviously, here we are talking about the bacterial artificial chromosome, and it is used in the cloning of the desired gene or the desired DNA strand. As you can see here, it is having certain characteristics and helping in the cloning of the desired DNA strand. So obviously, we are having this bacterial artificial chromosome. Select the incorrect statement with respect to the human genome. The human genome contains 3,164.7 million base pairs. This is absolutely correct here. Chromosome 1 has most genes. This is also correct. We have seen the outcomes of the human genome project there. And the third says more than 2% of the genome code for proteins. So this is here incorrect. We are having the less than 2% of the genome, it is coding for the proteins. And dystrophin is the largest known human gene. This is also correct here. So we are having here C option, that is correct, and it is having the incorrect statement. Another question, regulation of lac operon by repressor is referred to as A. Positive regulation, B. Negative regulation, C. Intermediate regulation, and D. None of the above. So when we are talking about the lac operon and its regulation by the repressor, so see students, it is said as negative regulation kind of mechanism. Why? We will see here. See here, when the repressor is active, it is having this. No RNA will be made. It is stopping here operon. So when the repressor is active, we are not having our proteins, they are not made here, and operon is stopped. So obviously it will be called as or known as negative kind of regulation, as in the case of lac operon. So B is here correct. Another question, read the following statements and we have to see how many of the above statements they are correct for translation. First statement says that the order and sequence of amino acids are defined by the sequence of nucleotides in the mRNA. This one is correct obviously. Ribosome is the cellular factory responsible for synthesis of proteins. This is also correct. Ribosome and the synthesis of proteins. 23S ribosomal RNA in bacteria act as a ribozyme and help in peptide bond formation. This is also correct with respect to the translation here. During the termination of translation, release factor binds with AUG codon. This is here incorrect. So how many of the statements they are correct? Obviously here 3. C option here is correct. But why it is incorrect? Obviously students here, release factors, they bind with the stop codon. And after that, we are having the termination of the translation. As you can see here, we are having this process when the termination of translation is happening. Release factor binding here. And if we zoom it, we are having this stop codon. UAA, UAG and UGA. They will be the stop codons here, not the AUG one. So obviously here, D statement, it is incorrect. Fourth statement here is incorrect. Choose odd one out with respect to the number of ovules present in an ovary. Wheat, paddy, mango and orchid. As we were talking about the orchid also, so it was having many seeds. The fruit was having the many seeds. So obviously ovules, they will be multiple or many. And if we talk about the wheat, paddy and mango, they are having one seed here. So orchid is the odd one out here. D option is correct. Another question, statement A, attractants and rewards are required for entomophily. When we are talking about the entomophily, it is insect pollination. Obviously, to transfer the pollens, these insects, they require attractants and rewards here. Statement B, during double fertilization, one of the male gamete fuses with the egg and other fuses with the synergid nucleus here. So this is incorrect. Statement B here is incorrect, as the second male gamete, or the second male gamete, it is fusing with the polar nuclei. So statement B here is incorrect, statement A is correct. Only statement A is correct. See here, we are having the polar nuclei, egg, and where are the gametes here? Sperm cell, it is fertilizing the egg cell, and sperm cell, it is fertilizing here the polar nuclei or the central cell. So we are not having the fusion of the male gamete and the synergid cells. Obviously, it is fusing with the polar nuclei and the egg here. Another question, how many of the above are Mendelian disorders? Mendelian disorders which are which are following the inheritance laws of which were given by the Mendel. So we are having how many of the above? They are Mendelian disorders. Color blindness, cystic fibrosis, thalassemia, Turner syndrome, Klinefelter syndrome, sickle cell anemia, hemophilia, phenylketonuria, and Down syndrome. Out of these, Down syndrome, Klinefelters, and Turners, they are chromosomal disorders, not the Mendelian disorders. So out of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 3 are chromosomal disorders here. So 6, they are Mendelian disorders. Another question, the core of nucleosome was composed of, we are having the options structural, ribosomal RNA, H1 histone, histone octamer, and double-stranded DNA. Here we are talking about the nucleosome and its core. So obviously it is having the histone octamer. As you can see in the image, we are having this octamer, histone octamer, which is forming the nucleosome. Another question, experimental proof for semi-conservative nature of DNA replication was provided by Hargobind Khurana, George Gamow, Matthew Michelson, and Franklin Stahel, and Hershey and Chase. So semi-conservative mode of DNA replication is happening. This proof was given by the experiment conducted by Matthew Michelson and Stahel. As you can see here, we are having the application of N15 and N14 medium here. And this was the Michelson and Stahel experiment to prove that semi-conservative is the mode of replication in DNA. Another question, statement A says that a human female with Turner syndrome has one additional X chromosome. And B says that alleles are different molecular forms of a gene. So obviously this one is correct here. Alleles, they are the alternative forms of a gene. But if we talk about the Turner syndrome, here we are having this condition. As you can see in this karyotype, we are having this condition. XO, or we are not having, only one X chromosome is here. So obviously we are having this statement which is incorrect. Only statement B is correct. Another question, in order to find out the different types of gametes, produced by a pea plant having the genotype RRYY, this is the genotype, it should be crossed with a plant having the genotype. So when we have to find out the different type of gametes, we are doing that test cross. And in test cross, what we are having? We are having homozygous recessive genotype there. We will cross this capital R, capital Y, small y with the homozygous recessive genotype. That is small r, small y, small y. And after that we will have the different types of gametes we can find out. So we are having the correct option here is D. Small r, small y, small y, that is the homozygous recessive. And it is the test cross. Another question, if a carrier woman for hemophilia marries a normal man, their progeny will be. As we can see here, the carrier female having here the mutant allele and the normal male. They have married here. They are having the gametes. Mutant one is here as she was the carrier, not the hemophilic female. Now the normal male is having his gametes here. After the combination, what we are having, this is the mutant allele here. So carrier female and the hemophilic male. So male is having this disease, hemophilia here, but the female, she is the carrier here. She is not having the disease. So we have the question here, their progeny will be all hemophilic, 50% hemophilic and 50% normal, all non-hemophilic, 25% hemophilic and 75% normal. So obviously students, this D option is correct because here we can see they are the normal. Obviously out of the 4, 2 are normal and third one is also normal. It is not the hemophilic here. It is not having the disease. It is the carrier here. She is the carrier but not the hemophilic. So we are having only 1 out of 4 that is hemophilic. We can say that 25% they are hemophilic and 75% they are normal. Another question, which of the following unusual nucleotide is added to 5' and during post-transcriptional processing of heterogeneous RNA? So at 5' and what we are adding here? Ethylguanosine diphosphate, methylguanosine triphosphate, pseudouridine triphosphate or dihydroxyuridine. So we are having at the 5' and you can see here, methyl group and guanosine triphosphate. So at the 5' and we are having this addition. So methyl and the guanosine and it is triphosphate here. So we are having the correct option B. Methyl guanosine triphosphate, it is added at the 5' end of the heterogeneous RNA. Another question, which of the following statement is correct with respect to the adapter RNA molecule? When we are talking about the adapter RNA molecule, it is tRNA. And we have to see which of the one is correct. A, its existence was postulated by James Watson. It binds to the amino acid with its acceptor arm at 3' end. It has 64 different forms corresponding to each genetic code. This is also not correct here. D, its three-dimensional structure looks like an inverted L. You have to see the word, what it is written. Is it inverted L? So obviously here students, B is correct. It binds to the amino acid with its acceptor arm which is at the 3' end. We can see here we are having this 3' end and where the amino acids will bind. So the B option here is correct for the tRNA or the adapter RNA molecule. Another question, during DNA replication, Okazaki fragments are formed on leading strand towards replication fork, lagging strand towards replication fork, leading strands away from the replication fork and the lagging strand away from the replication fork here. So obviously it is formed on the lagging strand and they are away from the replication fork. As you can see here, we are having the Okazaki fragments. See their direction. Away from the replication fork, we are having this replication fork and it is on the lagging strand. So we are having D option which is correct. Another question, in plant cells, charging of tRNA occurs in nucleoplasm, ribosomes, nucleus and cytoplasm. When we are having the charging of tRNA, one of the step of translation, so obviously it was having in the D, cytoplasm. As you can see here, what we are having in this charging of tRNA, in this process, tRNA gets bound with amino acid which was also methylated here. So we are having this charging of the tRNA and it is happening in the cytoplasm. Another question, a bacterial cell has a nonsense mutation in LEC-Y and it is happening in the nonsense. Which of the following enzymes will have no impact on their production and working efficiency due to this mutation? Beta-galactosidases, trans-acetylase, both A and B and permeates. So obviously here C option is correct. As we can see here in the lac operon what we are having, gene for beta galactosidase, that is Z, and for trans-acetylase it is A. So we are having the mutation in this Y. So obviously it will be affected here. We are having the permease. It is giving us permease, the protein. So Z and A, they will be unaffected. We will have the production of beta galactosidase as well as the trans-acetylase. So we are having this C option here is correct. Another question, which one of the following is not a part of transcription unit in DNA? A promoter, the structural gene, the inducer and the terminator. So in the transcription unit, we are having this promoter, structural gene as well as the terminator. We are not having the inducer here. It is the regulatory part here. So obviously, if we see here, it is terminator. Here the initiation will happen and we are having here the structural gene. So we are not having here the inducer. This is not the part of this transcriptional unit. So we are having the correct option here, C. So student, this was all about the botany part for the minor test 3. Thank you.
Hello everyone, welcome to the next part of the NEET AIRTS minor test 3 test discussion. So guys, as you know, we are discussing all the questions one by one that were covered in minor test 3. So I know you already know about what is NEET AIRTS, what are minor tests, mega tests, but still let's go through it again. So guys, this is all the details about NEET Extramarks. It started on 28th of November, so almost one month have passed. But don't worry, we have just conducted like 2 minor tests, and third minor test was conducted just this Sunday. Monday actually, that was yesterday, and that is what we are going to discuss here. And my part, basically I'll be telling you all the answers of the questions that were in physics. Alright guys, so as I was telling you about the NEET AIRTS, so basically the pattern is just like NEET. The purpose is to make you prepare for NEET, and as it is how they ask in the main exam, so we are going to have the same pattern. There will be like 200 question, the total marks is 720, exactly NEET pattern. Alright, 3 hour 20 minutes, and we'll have, okay, So let me tell you about the schedule. We'll have 4 minor tests. So what is minor test? Minor test is basically it will cover half syllabus of each class. So we have 2 minor tests, half of syllabus for 11th class, and then we have 2 minor tests for 12th class, 3 and 4. So this was minor test 3, that was half syllabus of 12th class. So basically it was electrostatics, and then we had magnetic field or magnetism basically, and then there was also electromagnetic induction and alternate current. And the next part, what is going to, so minor test 4 will have the later part of that 12th class, that is optics, modern physics, all of that. And then we have mega test. So guys, what is mega test? It is full syllabus of one class. So mega test 1 is full syllabus of 11th class, mega test 2 is full syllabus of 12th class, and then full test. So that is like exactly NEET pattern 11th 12th complete syllabus. So then we have 6 full tests. So if you and AIRTS, I am sure you know the full form, All India Rankers Test Series. So this series, guys, it is for rankers. If you're serious about getting a rank in NEET, this is it. This is what you it will help you to get the good rank in NEET, because the pattern is exactly same, the syllabus is exactly same, and not just this year, in the previous year also it has been a pattern that the students who do good in AIRTS, who get good rank here, they also tend to get good rank in the NEET as well. So yeah guys, give these exams very seriously, and they are going to help you a lot in knowing what kind of question they ask in NEET, and also what is the structure, and what is the in each chapter what is the structure, how many questions they are going to ask, what will be the type of question, all of that. Alright guys, so let's continue. So my part is physics. I am going to teach you, not teach you exactly, because this is mostly test discussion, so I am not going to teach you concept, but I'll tell you how to answer each question briefly. I'll tell you the concept and the formulae, and of course we won't do the exact calculation, right, that I'll leave for you, but I'll tell you the concept and the important formulae. Alright guys, let's continue. Okay, first question, this was in the NEET minor test 3. Okay, so what it is saying, so it is saying find the potential at the center of the sphere. If you look at the diagram, so this is my sphere, complete sphere, but this part is cut out. So how do we solve this one? So basically guys, you should know what is the potential due to a sphere at the center. Okay, it is solid sphere, solid non-conductive sphere. What is the potential at the center? So I'll tell you the formula here. So this is the general formula, rho by 6 epsilon naught 3 r square minus x square. Okay, rho is the, of course, density, charge density, r is the radius, x is the distance at which we are finding the distance from the radius. Alright, so basically so what we are going to do is we will find the potential due to the bigger sphere, let's call it VR, and minus we will subtract due to the smaller sphere, let's call it VR by 2. Alright, so that is what we are going to get. So VR, how will you get VR? Through x will be 0, of course, because x is the distance from the center, and for the bigger sphere the x will be 0, so this will be rho by 6 epsilon naught 3 r square. Alright, minus, so we have to subtract due to the smaller sphere. What is going to be the potential due to smaller sphere? So let's just put the values. It's just about putting the values. Okay, rho by 6 3 r square. So guys, 3, but what is the radius of this one? So the radius, r is basically the radius. So here the radius is r by 2. So instead of r, we have to put r by 2. It is basically what is the value of each quantity. So r by 2 square minus x square. So x is the distance from the center. And where is the distance? So this is the center of the second sphere, right? We are talking about the second sphere. And how much is this distance? So I want to find the potential at O. So what is this distance from the center? So this is r by 2, right? So the distance is also r. So x is basically r by 2. So r by 2 square. Alright. So yeah, this is it. So if I just need to solve this one, so this will be rho by 6 epsilon naught r, so 3r square minus, this will be 3r by 2 square minus r, so this will be twice of, so it will be r square by 2, this is 3r square. So yeah, it is just calculation now. If you solve this, I'm sure you will be able to get the answer, right? So this is the most important formula. Just not just remember the formula, know the value of each term, that this x is distance from the center, r is the radius, all that. Alright, pretty simple. Okay, next one. So this is about the dipoles. Okay, they are asking what is the electric field intensity at the center due to the dipole. So there are 3 dipoles as you can see. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, all 3 are at some angle 120. Okay, and what is this point? So what is this point called? So I have this dipole here, and the point is like this, right? It is perpendicular to the dipole. So what is this point called? So it is called, guys, equatorial point, right? So we have 2 point axial and equatorial. So this is called equatorial point. Okay, what is the magnetic field at equatorial point? Kp by r cube, right? So basically, if we talk about the magnitude due to 1, it is Kp by r cube. But here we have 3. As you can see. So what is going to be the combined effect? That is the question. Okay, what is the direction? If I talk about the electric field here, this is the dipole. The direction of electric field is this. It is opposite to dipole. Alright, so why is that? Because positive, negative. So due to that, due to positive it will be like this, due to negative it will be like this. Overall, so it is opposite. So now if I draw the diagram here, electric field due to this is in this direction. Electric field due to the second one, again it is opposite, so it is in this direction. Due to the third one, it is in this direction. So this is my 3 electric field due to 3 different dipole. Now if I draw the final figure, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So what are the angle between them? Of course 120, 120 and 120. Alright guys, and what is the magnitude of each? Kp by r cube, where r is this distance basically, r is the radius. So Kp by r, it is capital R here, so Kp by r cube. Okay, 3 vectors at 120 degree each other, magnitude is same. So guys, what is going to be the resultant? Of course guys, they'll cancel each other because they are as you can see here, they are 120 degree, or you can solve it analytically also, but intuitively also we can say they are going to cancel each other. So that is why the answer is going to be 0. Alright, next one. So it is about dielectric slab, and in between we put a basically dielectric cap of dielectric constant K in the parallel plate capacitor. And now we are saying in first case battery is connected, in second case a capacitor is isolated. So in which and they are talking about what is the force. So guys, what is the formula of force? That is what we need to think first. How can we find force if we don't know the formula? So the formula is pretty simple. It is Q square by 2A epsilon naught. Alright, that is the formula. Okay, here guys, what will so now A is of course constant, area, epsilon naught is constant, Q is changing, the Q will change, and if Q will change, then the force will also change. So that is what we need to think about. Okay, so there are 2 cases. So in first case, what is happening? The battery is connected. So guys, what happens when the battery is connected? What does that mean? So it means the potential is going to be constant, and that is the potential of the battery V. So in first case, the V or the potential of the battery that is going to be constant, and guys, we know that Q equals to CV. So V is constant, but C is going to change, right? C is going to change, and C will become we know the formula of C, that is A epsilon naught by K, but if we put it A epsilon naught by D, but if we put K dielectric constant, this what becomes the capacitance. So capacitance will increase, it will become the C times. So here guys, as you can see, the charge here will also become K times, which is the dielectric constant. So in the first case, the charge, it will become K times, so it is proportional to K square. So the force, this is the formula of force, and it is proportional to K square because the charge is going to increase. So that is why in the first case, the force will become K square times, and which is that option. So C and D both. Okay, so we need to check the second case also. So guys, in second case it is isolated, so obviously charge is going to remain same because charge cannot be created or destroyed, right? The charge is conserved. So in second case, the charge is going to remain same. What is going to change? The potential. So it doesn't matter, we don't care about the potential. For us, the charge is going to be same, and that is why the electric field and the force between the capacitors, parallel plate capacitor, that is going to be same. So in second case, it is going to be same because, so remember this, in isolated case, the charge remains same, and in the battery connected case, the potential remains same. So what is going to be the answer? It remains same in the second case. Alright guys, next one, this was a little bit of tricky. So these are non-ideal ammeter voltmeter. So in non-ideal, what happens? So current is 5 ampere. Okay, let's say, so it is non-ideal, it has some resistance. The resistance of potential, this voltmeter is not infinite. Okay, it will have some resistance. So there will be some current which will be flowing here also. It will be very less of course, but some current, let's say it is 0.1 ampere. If there was ideal, this will be 0. but here it is 0.1. So what is going to go to R? 4.9, let's say. So guys, what is the potential difference across R? So V equals to IR. So I is 4.9 into R. That is the potential difference. What is this equals to? It is equals to 30. So this is 30. So what is R? R is 30 by 4.9. We have just taken any value for, but there will be some current. That is the point. It might be 0.1 or 0.2 or 0.01. Doesn't matter. It will be 30 by something less than 5. And of course, guys, this is greater than 6. So that is the answer, greater than 6. Okay, next one. So this is about kinetic energy. So the particle is here, and from here it is coming towards the center. What is the kinetic energy? So kinetic energy is, of course, guys, the change in potential energy. So Q into delta V, right? So what is the potential change in potential? So we need to remember the formula of potential energy for this ring, which is ring at x distance from the center. What is the potential energy that it is all about? So now we just need to put the values in the formula. So that is K. Okay, let me write the formula here. That is the formula for the potential energy. So it is mu naught I divided by 2, and here we have a square divided by a square plus x square. Just 1 second. So yeah, this we are writing for the so it is r square, where r is the radius, plus x square. That is the formula for potential. Okay, at some distance x from the center. So mu naught I by 2 under root of r square plus x. So we just apply this. So initially x is root 3. Okay, we'll get the initial potential mu naught I by 2 r square plus x square will become under root, so it will become 2r. And here at the center x will become 0. So we'll find the potential difference, and now using that we can easily find the value of the change in kinetic energy. Alright, so here if I write the exact with the exact constant also, so that will be kq divided by this. So kq by r square plus x square, that is your formula for the potential, right? So just put the values and get the answer. Initially x will be root 3 r, and in second case it will be 0. So yeah, just the difference, that is going to be your kinetic energy. Alright, next one. So this is again about dipole, and it is asking flux, electric field. So there is a basically sphere, okay, and at the sphere we have a dipole. So dipole is what? Positive charge and negative charge. Okay, now they are asking, so guys, obviously the first thing that comes to the mind is that net charge is 0, so the flux is going to be 0. So electric flux through the sphere is 0, so of course this is correct because it is saying non-zero. Okay, what about the electric field? Other option about electric field. So guys, basically they are asking what is the electric field due to dipole. So direct formula based, what is the electric field due to dipole? This is the formula: Kp by r cube bracket root 1 plus 3 cos square theta, right? That is the electric field due to dipole. So very simple. So if we take any point on the sphere, let's say it is this point, so it will be at some angle with the axis, let's say it is 60 degrees. So of course there will be some electric field at different points on the sphere. So electric field will not be 0 at any point on the sphere because of this formula. Yes, flux is 0, but electric field is not 0. So yeah, the electric field is non-zero because this formula. So electric field due to dipole, we need to remember this one. Okay, resistance. So these are the color coding on the resistor. We need to remember these values. So guys, silver is for the error, and initial 3 are the value. Silver, what is silver? So 10%. Silver is 10%, gold is 5% plus minus. So here it is silver, so of course A is eliminated because it is 5, 10. So these are all 10. And guys, what is red? So you need to remember red is 2. That is the main. Red is 2, blue is 6, and black, that is the power. So red, so 2 into what is the power? 6, blue, plus minus silver, that is 10%. So that is your answer, 2 into. So these are the values you need to remember. Red, there is brown also, and here we have silver, we have gold also, like that. So that you need to memorize these values. Okay, next one. Simple question. Basically this is series parallel combination. So guys, current is given, this is V is given, we need to find this R. So just find the resultant of these 4, 12 and 12, 6. Okay, and 6 and 12, so 6 and 12 if you find, it will be 4, and 4 and 16. So 4 into 16 divided by 20. So what is that? So this is 4 by 5. So the resultant of these 4 is 4 by 5. So guys, what is the total resistance? R plus 4 by 5, right? And what is the current? 2.5. And what is the potential? 18. So very simple, just do the calculation and find V equals to IR, of course, Ohm's law, find R. Okay, you solve this and get the answer. Okay, next one. So here they are talking about the power dissipation. So guys, we know power is V square by R. So whichever has the minimum R, that has the most power. So we know guys, in parallel resistance is minimum, so it will have the most power. Very simple. Okay, next one. Again guys, simple formula based. I told you 1 plus 3 cos square theta. This I told you in the question before this. This one, the sphere one. This one, right? The same kp by r cube 1 plus 3 cos square theta. K by r cube 1 plus 3 cos square theta. So put the values. Theta is 60 and you'll get the answer. Theta 60, of course, cos 60 is 1 by 2, so square of that will be 1 by 4. Alright, let's continue. Okay, so here what are they asking? They are asking the ratio of currents in this. So how do we solve this question? So guys, this question is based on KCL. Basically the total current that is coming should be 0. So let's say the potential of D is V. So what is the current coming towards D? So guys, the current coming, we know current is V by R. So what is the potential difference here? 70 minus D. So 70 minus D divided by what is the R? 10. So this is the current that is incoming. What is the current that is going here? So going will be V minus 0 divided by 20. So V minus 0 divided by 20, that is going. Okay, let's say it is I1 that is coming. I1, this is I2, and I3 is, let's say it is also going. And what is I3? It is V minus this 10 divided by the resistance 30. Alright, and this is I2. So these are the equations that we are having. Now, of course, the current that is coming I1, that is equals to current that is going I2 plus I3. So solve this one, get V, and once you get V, find I1, I2, I3, that is your ratio. Alright, so yeah, basically you need to just put the values here, find V, and then find I1, I2, I3, that's it. So this is 70 minus, this is V. The potential at D, we are calling it V, so this is 70 minus V. So yeah, put the values, find V, find I1, I2, I3, very simple. Alright. Calculate VA minus VB. So how do we solve? So this is all about potential drop. I need to find VA minus VB. So let's say VB is 0. You can take any one as 0, doesn't matter, because that is a reference point. Alright. So let's say VB is 0. Okay, now let's move. So this we are moving. Okay, so if this is 0, what is this? So this is minus 6, right? Because when we go to battery, the smaller plate has the lower potential. So this is minus 6. We are going. So 3 ampere. This is the resistance, so 3 into 2, again the resistance will have potential drop, and what is that? IR equals to IR. So how much potential is going to ignore? 6. So guys, we know that the current flows from higher potential to lower potential, right? So here the potential is higher, so at this point, if we talk about, the potential must be even lower. So here it is minus 6, and what is the potential drop? V equals to IR. I is 3. R is 2, so 3 into 2, 6. So again 6 will be dropped here, and what will get? Minus 12, right? Okay, now we have a battery and we are going to the plus side. So potential will increase. Here the potential will increase by plus 9, so minus 12 plus 9, minus 3. So okay, final one, again IR, I is 3, R is 0.7, so 0.7 is 2.1, and we are going from higher to lower, right? Current flows from higher to lower. So this is, I am going to lower, so I need to decrease. 2.1 minus 5 minus 2.1 minus 5.1. So what is VA? 0. We have taken what is VB? Minus 5.1. So yeah, that is my answer. Very simple. Alright. Okay, current passes through, they are asking which is independent of cross section. Basically means cross section area. So you need to think of each, and you need to think which will have which will depend on the area of cross section. All right. So charge crossing, does it depend on area? What is charge crossing? So guys, charge is current into time, right? So if the current is I and time is t, so charge, it will not depend on the area of cross section. All right. So that is your answer. Drift speed, yes, it will depends on the area of cross section. This is the formula. NE NEI by divided by the area. That is your formula of drift speed Vd, right? I is the current divided by the area. So of course this depend on area, current density, I by A, electric field also it will depend on the area. So one quantity only charge, not dependent. Okay, next one. On the surface potential is 10 watt, what is volt, what is the potential at the center. So guys, this you need to remember, or you can, okay, if you don't remember the exact formula, it is fine. You just need to remember that the potential at the surface is kq by r, right? And potential at the center, okay, that is 3 by 2 kq by r. So this is for a solid non-conducting sphere, alright, 3 by 2 kq by r. So kq by r is 10, so what is going to be 3 by 2 kq by r? So that is going to be 10 into 3 by 2, so 15. 15, that is your answer. So B option. Alright, pretty simple again. So remember this one at the center is 3 by 2 kq by r. Alright, let's continue. In the part, the potential difference between Vg and Vh. So guys, this is similar to this question. This is similar to this question. Va minus Vb here, except the only difference is the circuit is little bit more complicated. Alright, Vg minus Vh. So how do we solve this one? Again, do the same thing, take 1 as 0. Doesn't matter, the potential at G point is 0. Okay, now just follow the Kirchhoff law and follow the potential drop, we'll get the answer. So current is 5, resistance is 4, V equals to IR. I is 5, R is 4, so this is 0, so this is going to be minus 20, right? IR 20 and dropping because we are moving the direction, so this is minus 20. Now we move to this side, this is what? We are going to, the higher potential, the battery, the positive side is higher, so minus 20 plus 3, this is minus 17. Right, this is minus 17. Okay, now again we are going to higher to lower, so current is what? 5 into 2, 10, potential drop is 10, so what is this going to be? Minus 27. Now so we need, now I need to go to H, but I don't know what is the current here, so I need to find the current in this branch. Alright, so that is the only thing. How do I find current here? Current here in this branch is 5, but all of this will not go to this branch, some will also go to the other branches, right? KCL, the charge current coming is 5 and the current it will go is also 5. So here it is some part of 5. What is this current? So this, okay, let's find this one. So here it is 3 ampere, here it is 1. So the current that is going is 1 and 3. So what must be the current that is coming? Of course 4. So it means 4 ampere current is flowing here. So what is the remaining current? 1 ampere, right? So 5 is coming, 1 is going down, 4 is going towards right. So 1 ampere, that is the current this branch, and V equals to IR, current is 1, R is 1. So V equals to IR, 1 volt, that is the potential drop. So this is going to be, again, I am moving from in the direction of current higher to lower. So this is going to be minus 28, right? Minus 27 is the potential at this point. And so here this will be minus 28. So guys, Vg is 0, Vh is minus 28. So 0 minus 28, that is plus 28. That is your answer. All right. Next one. So this is about potentiometer. So guys, potentiometer is basically we need to know the basics, and that is pretty simple. So here it is about the measuring the potential of a battery that is connected in parallel to the potentiometer wire. So as you can see in the potentiometer wire, this battery is connected. So how do we solve this one? So guys, the idea here is whatever is the potential drop in the AC part, that is your EMF of the battery, because that is why no current is flowing, because this, it is like this is a battery, okay, and basically it is like two batteries connected in the circuit. It is basically this battery and we have this battery. So if we have such a setup, of course the current in this circuit is going to be 0, right? So that is what is happening. So this battery, what is the potential drop across this? That is the question. So pretty simple. Total is 12, and what is the total resistance? 2. 1 for the battery also has internal resistance 1. So total resistance is 2 plus 1, 3, plus potentiometer wire also has resistance, and that is 3. So total resistance is 6. So what is the current here? So current is V by R. So what is V? V is 12. 12 by 6, 2 ampere. So guys, the current in the circuit, is 2 ampere, right? Now what is going to be the potential drop here? Potential drop is IR. So I is 2 and what is R? So R, we just need to find the resistance of this part. So guys, we know that the total resistance is 3. So what is going to be the resistance of this part? That is the question. So it is simple. What is the total length? 100 centimeter. So 100 centimeter is 3 ohm. And what is this? Is what? CB is 60. This is 40. So what is 40 centimeter resistance of this? So 3 by 100 into 40. That is your R. What is that? 12 by 10, 6 by 5. That is your resistance into I. So 6 by 5 into I, which is 2. So that is your potential drop here. So that is 12 by 5. That is 2.4. That is your answer, right? So we just need to find the potential drop in the AC part, and that is going to be your answer. All right. Next one. So this is little bit of a tricky. We need to know the formula speed of transfer wave also, which we studied in 11th class. And what is the formula? So that is root T by M. M is the mass, linear mass density, which is M. Generally we refer it mu, but here it is M. So root T by M. T is the tension. So here guys, what is going to be the tension? So tension is the force in the, basically what is that loop here? So the tension in the string of the loop, that is going to be your tension force. So what is that going to be? So we need to use the formula of force in a magnetic field. So here guys, the tension is going to be Bi and the radius R. So BIR, that is your tension divided by the mass, linear mass density, and that is, which option is that? That is your A option. So that is the answer. All right. Okay, next one. So this is about magnetometer. Okay, and it is asking the time and also guys, what is the time period of magnetometer? So it is 2 pi root I, okay, divided by M. So what is I? I is the moment of inertia. All right, and what is M? M is the pole strength. All right, so here guys, the moment of inertia will change because we have what is the moment of inertia of a magnet? So guys, it is like a rod, so ml square by 12. That is for 1. M is going to be same because yes, when we divide pole strength, we'll divide by 3, but we have 3 of the magnet later. So magnet cut into 3 parts and 3 parts are placed together. So overall M will not change. Your pole strength total, that is not going to change. I, moment of inertia, is going to change. So that is ml square by 12. So initially it is ml square by 12. Later in the second case it is M. What is M? M mass becomes 1/3 because we divided by 3, and L, L also become 1/3. So L square by 3 divided by 12. And this is for 1, but we have 3 such magnets. So this is my moment of inertia. So what is this equals to? This is M L square divided by 12 and divided by 9. This is your moment of inertia in the second case. So root of this, this is your time period. So if we compare basically T1 by T2, that is going to be your root I1 by I2. So in the second case, I2 becomes 1 by 9 times. So root of that will become 1 by 3 times. So basically the time period will become 1 by 3 times. So earlier it was 2, now it is 2 by 3. That is your answer. All right. Next one, due to current carrying loop, well, okay. So again, guys, they are asking the magnetic field at the center and they are given some distance. So we need to remember this formula for magnetic field at a distance, mu naught I by 2, and that is r square, which is the radius, divided by r square plus x square and power 3 by 2. Right, that is your formula of magnetic field at a x distance from the loop. So now everything is given. At a put x4 r3 equated to what? What is the given? 54. Okay, and then find, basically you will get this. And now in the second case, x is 0 because at the center x is 0. In the second case, we have to put x equals to 0 and get the values. Pretty simple. All right. Next one. Okay, magnetic force acting on the loop. So basically, guys, we know this is a loop, current carrying loop, let's say. So now they are talking about the net force on the loop. So guys, we know that the force on the loop, take any wire, part of wire. Okay, let's talk about this part. Okay, where is the force? So guys, we know that force is perpendicular to the length, perpendicular to the magnetic field, right? Force, if I write the formula, that is I L cross B. So it is perpendicular to length, perpendicular to magnetic field. Where is the magnetic field? Inside. Let's say it is inside, perpendicular it is given. So where is the force? Again guys, we can use the, it is L cross B. So if we talk about L, and where is the magnetic field? That is inside. So the force on this will be outside. Okay, basically, and if we talk about this one, here the force will be like this. So here the force will be like this. So on each part the force will be outside. It is like a centrifugal force, we can say. Just an analogy, of course this is not centrifugal, this is magnetic force, but it is kind of like that. It is like away from the center. So guys, what is going to be the net force? Of course these all are going to cancel each other. So the net force, that is why it will become 0, because all are radially outwards. Alright, let's continue. Okay, next one. Magnetic field vector at any point. So guys, this basically they are saying that this is my origin, and x, there is a point a comma b, or x comma y. Okay, let's say x comma y. Okay, and where is the magnetic field? So guys, we should know the formula of magnetic field. First of all, we should know the value, that is mu naught I by 2r. That is your due to strong straight wire, that is your magnitude. But what about the direction? So direction of magnetic field is going to be perpendicular like this. Okay, what about the angle? So this angle, okay, let's say this angle is theta, although not given, we'll put the values, but this angle is theta. So guys, this, let's draw a perpendicular. This is 90, this is 90 minus theta, and this will be theta. Alright, so this is theta. So if we talk about this value, this is b cos theta, and here this value will be b sin theta. Alright, and guys, what is cos theta? So look at this triangle, this is x, this is y. So cos theta is x by r, right? So this is b, cos theta is x by r, and sin theta is y by r, right? So yeah, basically now we can find the each component. So y component is of course minus y cap, and that is mu naught I by 2r into cos theta, which is x by r. So mu naught I by 2r into x by r. So mu naught I x by 2r square. That is your y component in the minus y direction. So if we compare y component in the minus y direction, so this is the only option, because it is if we multiply by x by r, what do we get? I get option A. So that is your answer. So yeah, let's continue. Okay, variation of susceptibility. So this is, I need to remember, for diamagnetic the susceptibility is negative and it is not dependent on the temperature. So that is why answer is option D, not dependent. Okay, wire is moving, rate at which work done, all of. So work done, basically guys, when a wire is moving through field, we know that there will be there will be motional EMF and current will flow. And what is work done, guys? Work done is basically the work done to move it, and that is the amount of heat generating due to current, and that is basically we can say I into R, or we can say it is basically I square R, right? That is your work done. Okay, how do I find the current here? That is the question. So current, guys, basically is V by R. And what is V? The potential. And what is the potential generated when a wire goes through the magnetic field? So this we need to remember, that is BVL. V is the velocity here. Let me write it like this. So this is velocity. Okay, BVL, that is called motional EMF. That is your EMF divided by the resistance. So that is going to be your so this is basically my I. Okay, and now I need to square it and then multiply by R. So work done is going to be B square, V square, L square, and divide by R square into R, so divided by R. That is your answer. So put the values, and now it is pretty simple, I guess. Alright. Primary, so of course very simple. Transformer, guys, we need to remember this one. V secondary by V primary equals to N secondary by N primary. So yeah, second NS by NP given 2. So VS by VP is also 2. So twice. Voltage is twice in secondary. Okay. Next one. So torque, very simple, guys. We need to remember the formula. magnetic moment cross product of magnetic field. So just find the cross product. This is given I cap, B vector is also given, find cross product, get the answer. Okay. Pointing vector is like basically it is intensity energy per unit area per unit time. Okay, add them. Kirchhoff law, I3 is what? So guys, we need to add them here. If you add them, you cannot add them directly, so convert into sine. This I can write sine omega t minus pi by 2, right? Omega t minus 90, and this is 3 sine omega t. So I have to add them. So sine A, sine B plus sine C. Basically, it is basically now I have to use the formula of sine A plus B. So this is a little bit of trigonometry, and what is it? Sine A cos B plus cos A sine B. That is your. Or there is one more way to do it. Rather than writing it like this, we can write it simply also. So this rather than writing, so now in that case we have to use the cos formula if that is more simple to you. So which is that sin A sin B plus cos A cos B, and what is that? Cos of A minus B, right? Cos of A minus B. So you can use either one, sin A sin B plus cos A cos B. So this is AB, and then you can put the value. So this is sin A is 3 and cos A is 4. So sin A is 3, cos A is 4. So what kind of triangle is this? So sin A, so this is 3, this is 4, this is 5. So this is basically A angle. So cos A is 4 by 5. We can multiply and divide by 5. Okay. So this is sin A 3 by 5. Sin A sin B plus cos A 4 by 5 cos omega t. So sin A sin B plus cos A cos B cos of A minus B. That is your answer. Alright. Next one, very simple. They are asking the power factor. So guys, power factor is of course R by Z. Impedance, what is the formula of impedance? This under root of R square plus omega L square. Because there is no capacitor here. So this is my formula. Sorry. Next one, average voltage. So guys, if I draw the diagram for the voltage, it is like this. And what is the time period? Is 0.02, right? 1 by frequency. So this is 0.02. This is 0.01. So they are asking average value in 0.01 seconds. So guys, if we take from starting, then of course it won't be 0. But if we take, let's say I take the 1 point is here, 1 point is here. Okay, in between these two, if I take, so here the time difference is also 0.01, and here guys, what is going to happen? The average value will become 0. Basically, if I take this interval, then yeah, in that case average will become 0 because up and down they are the same. So in that case it can become 0. So answer would be maybe, it depends on what time interval you are taking, but it can be 0. It is possible. Okay, next one, potential at M. So very simple here, earth, so 0, total is 20, so all are in series. So this is 5, 5, 5, 5. They are going to absorb 5 watt, 5 watt, 5 watt, 5 watt. So this is 0, it is absorbed 5 watt. So what is going to be here? Minus 5, of course. Here it is minus 10, here it is plus 5, here it is plus 10. That is your potential distribution. That's it. All right. So they are asking the potential. Okay, merge potential is, so potential is KQ by R. Okay, what is Q? So Q will add up 1 PC, 1 pico charge. That is your P. What is P? So this is pico, it is minus 12 coulomb. That is your charge. How much? We have 8. So Q will become 8 times of this. So K into 8 into 10 power minus 12. But radius, what will happen to the radius? So guys, we have 8 mercury drops adding together. So what will happen to the resultant radius? So basically guys, we need to conserve the volume or mass here. So 8 times into 4 by 3 pi r cube, that is your resultant, and that is 4 by 3 pi r cube. So as you can see, radius will become, if you solve, take under root both the sides, it will become twice. So here radius will be twice. Alright, so just put the values, get the answer. Very simple. Okay. This one little bit, so ratio of magnetic field. So guys, magnetic field, what is the formula? Mu naught I by I'm sorry, mu naught I by 2r, and depending what about the angle, so that is theta divided by 2 pi, right? That is my magnetic field at the center. So as you can, radius is same for both of these. So as you can see guys, this and this, there are two parts here, one and second. This is of course smaller, the angle is different here, which is only 60 degree. If I draw it again, it is basically this part is smaller, 60 degree, and this part is much larger. What is that? 300 degree. So angle is 5 times. Angle is 5 times. So angle for the 300 one is 5 times. But current is also different. And guys, we know current is inversely proportional to resistance, right? Because potential is same. They are in parallel. If you can see this part and this part, they are in parallel because the battery is connected here. So they are in parallel. So potential is same. So current is proportional to inversely proportional to resistance, and resistance is proportional to length. So it is inversely proportional to length. So I is inversely proportional to length, and theta is proportional to length. So theta is proportional to length, current is inversely proportional to length, so length will get cancelled. So finally it will not depend on the length, it will be same for both. So kind of not very simple in the first glance, but if we write the formula correctly, then we will answer will follow automatically. Alright, next one, the charge stored in the capacitor. Okay. So guys, in the given figure, the charge source. So now how do we do? So they are talking about the steady state. What does that mean? So a steady state means the inductor becomes an open circuit. So if I redraw it, it will become like this. It will become like this. And this, it will become like this. And capacitor, of course, it has infinite resistance in the steady state. Right. So this is my diagram. 2 ohm, this is 4 ohm, and this is like infinite. This is capacitor, but it has infinite resistance, infinite ohm. This is 3 ohm. So there will be no current here. There will be current, let's say I in the circuit, I1 here. So what is this current? 12 by 6, that is 2 ampere current will flow. So this is 2 ampere. So 2 ampere, what is the potential drop across this? IR 8 volt. So out of 12, 8 this has absorbed. So what is the potential here? 4 volt. And what is the potential here? 12 volt. So what is the potential difference across the 3 ohm or the capacitor? 12 minus 4, 8 volt. So potential difference is 8 volt. And Q is of course CV. So we just need to multiply. C is given 2. So we just need to multiply this and get the value. So Q equals to CV. V is 8 into C. That is your answer. C is 2, so 12 into 2, 16. 16 mu microcoulomb. Alright. Okay, now they're talking about mutual inductance. So guys, mutual, so flux is what? Magnetic field into area, right? And mutual inductance divided by the current, that is your mutual inductance, right? So flux is magnetic field by area, so mu naught I by, so what is the basically the diagram here? So this is your larger radius B, okay, current I, and inside this you have a smaller loop which has a radius small a. So guys, what is the magnetic field at the center? Mu naught I by 2B, that is the value of magnetic field at the center. This I have written the magnetic field. This is the magnetic field, okay, into the area. So area is the for the smaller because it is inside and we are talking about the flux through that. So through that it means we have to take its area, so that is pi a square. So now the you know the flux, you know the area, put it here, divided by current will get cancelled. So as you can see, it will come out to proportional to a square from the area divided by the b. So that is going to be your answer, a square by b, and that is option A. Alright, continue. Dimensional for magnetic field. So guys, this is pretty basically you can just put any formula for magnetic field and you will get the answer. One of the formula that so this is magnetic field H, which is they are asking in Henry, so you can use mu naught into B. So you know the for mu naught and B is magnetic field, mu naught is permeability. So if you put the dimension of each, you will get the dimension of the magnetic field H. Alright, let's continue. Okay, here they are asking the electric field. So this is the vector formula basically they are asking. So we need to apply this formula, KQ divided by R cube. R is the magnitude into R vector. That is what we need to. So what is R vector? So this is the position vector, but the charge particle is not at the origin, the charge particle is here. So if I write the R vector, so guys R vector is going to be this vector minus this. So basically I can also write it like this. So I should basically write it like this, R naught vector, because my charge particle is not at the origin. So from the reference of my charge particle, we need to get the electric field. So that is my formula, KQ by R minus R naught into, so this is the magnitude, the distance. So I hope you know how to find the distance between two coordinate points. Alright. Next one, very simple, heat guys. Heat is half CV square. That is the formula of energy or heat in a capacitor, and that is half CV square. So put the values, V is 100 and C is also given. So very simple. Okay. Next one, between A and B, 5 are connected. 10 ampere current flows, which is correct. So guys, okay, I can read it 4 and 6. What is the resultant? So it is 4 into 6 divided by 10, 2.4. So this is 2.4. And this is what? 4 and 6, that is 2.4, and 8 also. So this is much less than 2.4. What is that going to be? So that is going to be 2.4 into 8 divided by 10.4. Right. So this is going to be much less. So this is 24. Yeah, this is 24 by 13. Alright, so these are the two resistances that we can treat resultant. So now we, of course guys, this is more, so this is going to absorb more voltage. The potential drop across these two combined will be more compared to these three, because these three have less resistance overall. In parallel, the resistance is less, of course. So which will absorb more? AC part. This part will absorb more, and the CB part will absorb less. So that is why VAC is more, VCB, the potential drop is less. So that is why the answer is going to be option B. Alright, let's continue. Okay. They are talking about the particle which is projected. So guys, this is pretty simple. They are talking about radius. So very simple. If you don't know the radius, it's fine. We can find it very quickly. So guys, radius, basically the force QVB, that is the force, and that is the centripetal force, and that is mv square by r. So using this, I can very quickly find the radius, that is mv by qb, right? That is your radius, mv by qb. So now as you can see, mass, qb all are same, velocity is doubled. So r will also be doubled, r will be doubled. So r is doubled. So b and d both are saying r will, but what about time period? So guys, time period is 2 pi r by v. So now if you solve this, so 2 pi r, which is mv by qb divided by v, so 2 pi m by qb. That is going to, so it is not dependent on velocity, it will be same. So that is why time period is same and radius is doubled. Alright. Also power factor, most simple question I guess. This you need to remember. So that is resistance divided by the overall impedance, R by Z. That is your power factor. Alright. Next one, potential energy of the system. So guys, there are three particles here, they are saying. Okay, this is what? Minus Q, plus Q. What is this distance? A. This is also A. So how do we find the potential energy of the system? Find for these two. We have three particles here. Find for first two, other two, and then the first and third. So here it will be V12, V23, and V13. That is what we, and what is the formula? Of course, the formula is K Q1 Q2 by R. That is the formula of potential. Alright, so K Q1 Q2 by R, V12, 23 and 13. Add them. So basically guys, what is happening here? V12 plus V23 plus V13. Summation is 0. Right, so put the values. 1 is minus Q, 2 is plus Q divided by the distance A. So this will be minus capital Q small q by A plus again small q capital Q by A plus this is minus Q, so they will become plus Q square by 2A. In between these two the distance will be 2A. So now put it in the here in the formula, you will get the answer. You will basically find the ratio of small q and capital Q. Very simple. Alright. Next one. So what is this? So basically guys, this is pretty simple. R equals to rho L by A. It is based on this one. Alright, so rho, everything is given here. Specific resistivity is rho. Okay, we have to find in terms of rho a volume. Okay, volume is given. What do we do with the volume? So volume is nothing but A into L. So that is given 3. So into L is given. So guys, I can write that area is 3 by L. So I can put area as 3 by L. So R equals to rho L by A, which is 3 by L, L square. Distance is 3. So this is 3 equals to rho L square divided by 3. So this will become now this is pretty simple, 9 equals to rho L square. So guys, now we need to find L square, that is 9 by rho under root. So 3 by root of rho. That is option B. Alright. Okay, next one, magnetic moment. So guys, what is the formula of magnetic moment? I into A. Remember this one. I into A. But more important thing, it is a vector quantity. Alright. So here we have two loops perpendicular. One is this, other is this. So what is the direction? So we can use the right hand thumb rule. This, the curl of the finger is the current and the thumb is the magnetic field. So here what is going to be the magnetic field of this loop? In this direction, right? Because the current, okay, let's look at it again. So where is the direction of current? This, so magnetic field will be perpendicular. So it will be basically, it will come out of the page of the loop basically like this, perpendicular. This is due to the first one, M1. Okay, and due to this, so if we follow the right hand thumb rule, it will be downwards. So this is downwards, M2. Okay, the magnitude is same because I into A, I is same, area is same. What is area? Length into breadth, 5 into 10. This is 5, this is 10, this is 5, 10, 5, 5. So the area is 5 into 10, of course centimeter we will convert into meter. I is given, M1, find M1, M2. What is going to be the resultant? Under root of M1 square plus M2 square, because they are perpendicular. So to find the resultant, we have to use the resultant vector formula. M1, M2 both are same in magnitude. Find one and then basically multiply by under root. Alright, next one, LC circuit. So they are talking about the frequency. So guys, what is the frequency? So remember this one, frequency is this, and what is the value of the frequency? 1 by root LC. That is important. That is your natural frequency. Okay, the resonance frequency of a RLC circuit. So 1 by root LC, and if we put a dielectric constant, we know that C will become K times. So C into K. So this will be 1 by L. It will become L of course is same as CK. So basically it will become 1 by root of K times the frequency. So this is the frequency. This is the frequency. So now if I find the ratio F1 by F2, this will be F2 will become, we know it will become 1 by K times. So this will be root of K, right, divided by 1. So now pretty simple, F1 is given, F2 is given. So yeah, and that is your root K. So if you put the values, I think you should get the answer. So it decreases. So earlier it was 125, now it decreases by, so what is the value it become? It becomes basically the 100. Alright. So yeah, I'll leave it for you and let me know if what is the value you are getting. So this is 100, this is 125 divided by the 100, that is root k. So root k is 5 by 4. Root of k is 120 by 100, that is 5 by 4. So k will be 5 by 4 whole square. So if you solve that, 5 by 4 whole square, 1.25 square, that you will get option C, 1.56. All right. Next one, impedance. So guys, this is pretty simple. Impedance for for inductor, impedance. So impedance for, let's say, inductor L, so that is omega into L. And what is the impedance for capacitor? That is 1 by omega C. Omega is of course the frequency, 2 pi into the frequency. So now as we can see, for capacitance it will decrease, for inductor it will increase with omega, with frequency. So this must be the capacitor, this must be the capacitor, and this must be the inductor. So first one is capacitor and second one is inductor. Okay, what are they asking? Pole strength this and this. So they are talking the magnetic. So guys, what is magnetic flux? It is B into area, right? That is the formula of magnetic flux. And so guys, what is area into the B? So if I write the value of B here, okay, let me write it here. So B is basically, I can write mu naught I plus H. Alright, and what is I? So I is the pole strength M divided by the area. Pole strength is MP here, so MP divided by the area. So now if I just put the values here, I'll get the answer. So flux is mu naught MP by A plus H into this area. So if you solve this one, you will get mu naught MP plus AH. So mu naught MP plus AH, that is your answer. Alright guys, next one we are about to finish. Just last 3 questions. So meter bridge, one of the most simple topics in physics, that is meter bridge. So guys, what has happened? The balancing length is 20. So this length is 20. What is the remaining length? 80. Okay, and what is the, so it is based on Wheatstone bridge. Wheatstone bridge. Okay, so this is 20, and resistance in the left gap. Okay, no wait, let me check. Okay, so let's say what is given. So this is 20. So the other one from left it is 20. So from right it is 80 because total is 100. Okay, the length of the resistance in left gap is 1 by 2 meters. So the length is given, radius is given, specific resistance we need to find, and standard resistance is R here. So guys, how can we do this one? So basically this is 1 ohm that is given. So what is this? So R1 by R2 equals to R3 by R4. So R1, this let's say R1 divided by R2. So directly based on length proportionate. So R1 by 20. Although it is not resistance, but it will be divided equally around the length because resistance is proportional to length. So this we can write R1 by 20 equals to R2, which is 1 divided by 80. So 1 by 4. So R1 is going to be R2 by 4. R2 is 1, so 1 by 4. Basically this R1 is 1 by 4 ohm. So now R equals to rho L by A. So R1 equals to rho L by A. So what are the values? R1 is 1 by 4. Rho we need to find. Okay, L is what? 1 by 2 half meter divided by the area. What is area? So area is pi R square. So guys, just put the values. R is given 2. And of course convert it into meter and put the values here. You will get the answer. Rho, resistivity. Very basically little bit of calculation but simple. Okay, final one. Okay, again, so this is guys based on the magnetic field due to current carrying loop. So again I'll write the formula. This similar question we had looked earlier, but mu naught by 2 R square divided by R square plus X square power 3 by 2. That is your magnetic field due to a loop at x distance. So at x distance it is given 54. So put x equals to 4, r equals to 3, equated to 54. Now later put x equals to 0 and find what is going to be the value at x equals to 0. Alright, so yeah, pretty simple. Basically from the first you can find the current, and in the second case put the value of current and put x equals to 0. You will get the answer. Alright, final one. Okay, a value of angle of dip is 60, apparent dip is at angle 30. So how do we find apparent dip and actual dip? What is the relation? So guys, this also little bit of memory base we need to remember this one, that apparent dip. let's say this is D and that is the real dip, okay, and this is D apparent. So what is the relation? So tan theta of here what do we have? So tan theta of real dip, tan theta of real dip equals to tan of apparent dip into cos theta. Theta is the angle of the plane. So now guys, this is 60, okay, so tan 60 root 3 by 2, and here the plane, this is theta is the plane angle, plane incline. So this is where theta 60. So cos 30 root 3 by 2, so we'll just multiply. So this is root 3 into 2 divide, this is root 3 by 2, so root 3 here cancel, tan apparent will be 2, so apparent depth will be tan inverse 2. So basically, yeah, this is the formula. So this is real. This is the real. So real, tan of real dip equals to tan of apparent. So this is apparent. That is what they are asking. Find the apparent dip. Okay, into cos theta. Theta is the plane angle. Alright guys, so this is it. We very quickly looked at all the questions. Of course, we didn't have time to again go through the concept in each case, but we still got the time to at least look at the formula, important formula in each topic. And of course, this is electrostatic. We have a lot of formulas, so you need to be at the top of your game. You need to know in each chapter what are the topics, subtopic, in each subtopic what are the formulas. Alright, and if you know, basically it is called mind maps. So create mind maps, topic, subtopic, in each subtopic what are the formulas. If you go by that, you realize there are not much formula actually. In all of electrostatic, there are not more than 40-50 formula. That is not much, right? 40-50 formula. In here optics it is even less, in 11th class it is even less. So in all of physics, like around 150 formula that you can write on 2 pages of a notebook. All the physics of 11th, 12th you can summarize on 2 pages. Of course, you need to know what is the meaning of each term. Here I have written it, but you should know what is real dip. You should know that diagram of Earth's magnetic field and all that, and plane. So yeah, of course that we are not going to discuss each concept, but we'll look at the important formula. That is the purpose of this discussion. It is not just about getting the answer. Getting the answer is of course anyone can get the answer right, but how to apply that formula in that particular case is what we try to do. Alright guys, so this is the end of this test discussion, minor test 3, right? All the subjects we have done, and at the last we looked at all the 50 questions for physics. And after 2 weeks guys, as I was telling you in the beginning the schedule, so after each 2 weeks, 14 days, we have next test. So next test is going to be minor test 4, which will be about optics and the later part of 12th physics, that is modern physics. So there please be ready, please prepare for it. You have time, you have more than 12 days, 10 days. So prepare for it, and I wish you the best for minor test 4, and we'll meet again where we'll be discussing the solutions of minor test 4. Alright guys, thank you everyone and good day.